should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better. Don't
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hey y'all, it's so good to see you on this Wednesday. I do believe. I'm so glad y'all are here. You could be anywhere in the whole entire YouTube streets, world, universe, wherever, and you are here with us, and that means so much. I don't know if you can hear the storm, but we got a pretty bad storm. It's good to see you, Abellis, Lori Ann, Kathleen, Anders, Fawny, Edith, Amy, Michael Green Chili Chicken, Paramandy, Miss Scorpio Rising, Tri- Tyron or Tryon, Julianne, good to see you. Jenny Jen, good to see you. Bad Girl, good to see you. Good to see you, Dainty Dane. Angela Ballerina. I think I said Miss Scorpio Rising, but hello to you. Becky P, good to see you. Lorraine. Cindy from sunny South Florida. Kathleen again, good to see you. All you lovely names and people are here today, and that's so amazing. Thank you. Edith said, "Hey fam, can I please ask for your prayers? I'm really nervous about my results of cancer screening. I will know in a week and I'm scared." I will definitely keep you in my prayers, and I we just we need to keep in mind that it's going to be good. We need to speak into existence that you're going to have a good result. And I'm going to be praying that you do. Hey Lydia, and one sunny day. One sunny day. Good to see you. Yeah, let's just pray that it's good, and speak into existence that everything will be negative. Hey Sherry Thompson, thank you all for sending prayers for Edith. That was so very sweet and supportive of you guys. I really appreciate that. Okay, so it appears from what I have found that we have about 20 minutes left of testimony from Jessica Kelly, and then we're going to get into what Michelle Martin said. Thank you, Dainty Dane. Dainty Dane said, "God, please give Edith a peace about her medical result. We know that you are the great physician, and all will be done in your name. Amen." Thank you so much for that. Did you really? I hope everything was okay. Hey, Indy. Okay, so we got 20 minutes left of testimony for Jessica, and then, hold on. And then we will get into Michelle Martin's. I don't know. I know that the 2 hours and 34 minutes, I think, is all her. So today should be the last day unless she testified another day. That is the, when I type in Michelle Martin's testimony against Fabian Gonzales, that's the only one that I saw. So we should finish out this trial today. Hey, Joy. Be brave enough to speak it, the courage to believe it, it will be. That is so wonderful and great. That is amazing advice. I hope we can all live. Um, I hope we can all, live by that advice. I apologize. My head is all over the place. Okay, so let's talk about Jessica's trial. Okay. It's amazing to me how foul mouthed and just ugly she was, how much makeup she had on, but now she's trying to present herself as a kind, non-makeup, just good person. And again, that makes me question her testimony, whether it's the truth or not. Because, like, why are you trying to present yourself as this kind-hearted, just good Christian woman when that's not who you are? Like, why would it? I know it doesn't matter because she took a plea deal and she's already been sentenced, and part of her plea deal was to testify against Fabian. But I don't understand why, if if it doesn't matter and you're going to just tell the truth, why are you worried about how you're presenting yourself with your Timu Playboy tattoo there? You guys are so amazing. Thank you all. Oh man, that sounds good. She did. Right, Bonnie?
What they think were inconsistent statements. The state is only offering
Okay, where did the audio go?
the cross of the defense where they read, asked her questions and then read portions and tried to impeach her
Hey,
with them. I
heathen.
think I should be able to clarify
Hey,
that the
Vero.
truth.
Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. Hey, heathen and Veronica. Good to see y'all. We're muted again. Still muted.
This was previously admitted um, through defense stipulation, but after our bench conference earlier this, I guess it was late this afternoon,
Hey,
late this
Curious.
morning, um, there's been a change to that, and it's no longer admitted. It's offered, but not admitted. So we'll play it, but it's not going to be admitted into evidence for the jury to listen to later. Okay, anything?
So they're going to play something that's offered into evidence but not admitted into evidence. Okay. Hey, Southern Cats and Curious Christine. Good to see y'all. Thank you for being here.
Else? Nothing from the state. All right, let's go ahead and bring it in.
Is it another jail call we get to listen to?
Yeah, but we're gonna have a little assistance with audio, see if we can make that a little smoother. Oh, sorry.
So again, her testimony is only like 20 minutes, and this is probably only going to be about 15, and then we'll get into what Michelle said.
Ms. Kelly, you testified on cross yesterday that
Linda.
about a time when you said the defendant was dead to you.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Is the defendant someone that you're gonna send a Christmas card to or become pals with?
No,
Why?
because as a part of my life, I'd rather just not reopen.
Does that mean that you hate him?
I don't hate him.
How do you feel about him?
Hurt, sad, a lot of mixed emotions.
Do you remember, Ms. Kelly, after you were arrested, you were taken to the hospital?
Lisa Lynn asked if Fabian take the stand. That's a good question. I think he does actually, so we do need to watch that too. We might end up doing it again Friday. If he takes the stand, I'll find it and we'll go over it.
Yes,
Do you remember when you testified 2 days ago, or maybe it was yesterday, that you told the detectives some things at the hospital about the unknown man? Do you remember that?
I believe so.
Your Honor, the state would move for admission states 249. What do you mean, okay, it is?
How long this contract with you?
Sorry, Judge Van Public. Okay.
How long this contract with you? This is all yours. But we're taking your DNA. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're gonna take your DNA. Okay?
Why do you have to have that name? What are you gonna do with that? I want to know why are you being treated like this?
Again,
Again?
being arrested. All right?
So this is again the jail audio. Look at her. She's like rolling her eyes at it. Mm-hmm.
Why am I being arrested for murder?
You don't want to talk about it. Because you don't want to talk about it. That's for an attorney. All right,
There's
so
3 other people in the house. You're kidding me? murder?
No, we read some other papers.
Like who? It's like, I'm the only one arrested.
All right, so let's go ahead and get you processed, okay? And then you can read this on your time, and then you can get rest, okay? Yeah, if that's what you're
Sir, we get this down as soon as you can read it.
All right, we've heard this audio and it's kind of echoey, so I'm probably going to skip it. Hey, Megan. Good to see you. Megan said her true colors are in that audio, and they are.
I'm just gonna play, Your Honor, the state would move,
Fabian,
Dang it. Never mind.
So let's go ahead and get you processed, okay? And then you can read this on your time, and then you can get rest, okay? Yeah, if that's what you're
Sir, we get this down as soon as you can read it.
So this would be like the same time that you've done it before, it's like brushing your teeth.
Give me that, dude. Like, fuck. They treat like shit this whole fucking time for something else. This is bullshit. Bullshit.
Bullshit. Hey, Little Fish. Good to see you. Little Fish said that lady is sick, having relations with the guy that killed her daughter. She's going to the pit for that. If she was in the jar, I wouldn't give her air. So, yeah. I don't know, man. That Jessica Kelly, I don't know what she did. She definitely has crazy eyes, like Vera said. Angela said her true colors was in the ER towards them nurses. Right, exactly. Yeah, Jessica Kelly is a spawn of Satan.
And this is all about you. Really? Shit.
All because of you? Really? Shit. Rachel shared her 2-month milestone with us. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was so sweet of you. I really appreciate that. She says, hey, hey girl, hey, hey girl, hey. Thank you for sharing that with us. That was super sweet of you. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate you being a member for 2 months. That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Speaking of members, I do have a garden video that I uploaded. I've got to make a thumbnail for it, and that will be out today. She does look like Letitia with that Letitia with that mask on. We're going to be talking about Letitia soon.
You're not talking about my whole fucking life, dude. Yeah, for what? For what?
Hey Tom, how do people end up like her? Generational abuse and substances. Sorry, I was eating and trying to talk with food in my mouth. Sorry if it sounds weird, but yeah, generational abuse and substance abuse, I would say.
For what? Serious. Go fight like a fucking killer, dude. Go fight like a fucking killer.
Ms. Kelly, when you said to the detectives that day in the hospital, there were 3 other people in the house. Who were those 3 other people?
I was referring to Michelle, Fabian, and the killer.
At some time after you were in custody, it was talked about a little bit on the press that your cell was recorded.
Yes.
How did you know that that was a possible thing?
No.
How do you feel about that?
I felt like my rights were violated because I was unknown of a recording in my cell.
You were asked some questions yesterday about those recordings. I'm just going to play. Your Honor, the state would move what's been marked for identification in states 250 and 251 into evidence. 250, 251 will be admitted.
All right, so this is something they recorded while she was in her jail cell. So I'm going to try to tell you what she's saying if I can understand it my damn self. We're the scapegoats. And I'm going to fry. I'm the scapegoat, being that I have a record. Her friend says something I can't quite understand. I know she said you don't think so.
Yeah, that was just a big thing, just to let the fucking people know that there's that going on now. I can hear me like I wanted to tell my family so bad, but boom, now my family know. You hear me like I don't want them to hate me. You're like my cousin, you hear me?
She said something. I wanted to tell my family so bad. I didn't want them to hate Fabian, though. You know what I mean? That's my cousin, basically, in a nutshell. I couldn't quite catch what she said Fabian did, though.
But he's wrong for fucking lying on you. You hear me?
But he's always fucking lying on me, you know what I mean?
He fucking gave them an open gate, open the door for them to fucking take my life.
He opened the door for them to effing take my life.
Now, you said that you were glad now that you could tell your family. Why couldn't you have told your family before?
I was advised not to talk about the case with anybody.
And you said that the defendant lied about you and gave them an opportunity to take your life. What did you mean by that?
When he gave all the false statements when he was first arrested about everything that did not happen, he put out poison in the minds for what really happened that night with Victoria.
So you felt that he had unfairly accused you?
Yes.
I'm going to play States 251 for you. This is just another part of that.
Because I feel like, you know what I mean? I feel like, see how they're just playing to me because I was wrong? Fuck you, like. They think he's lying. That's why they said, he had part in being up.
All I understood out of that was Fabian's lying and F you.
Yeah. Of course he did.
Now, you were asked by someone nearby in your cell that if the defendant had a part in cleaning up, and what did you say?
I said yes.
So, later on, when you gave your Castigar statement and took your plea and came to testify at trial, that was not the first time you had said that your cousin was involved, right?
Correct.
Now, backing up just a little bit, immediately after you were arrested, you were in the hospital for a little bit, and then do you remember when you were booked into the jail?
A little bit.
Do you remember you called your mom and your brother?
Yes.
And you were asked a little bit about the case by them. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you remember the state would move for admission states 247 and 248 in evidence? 247 and 248 will be admitted and can be published. They have one more today.
I was muted. I wanted to show y'all real quick from what Tyron said. It reminded me of this meme. Hold on. I might get in trouble for playing it, but we're gonna. This is for Jessica.
He cold. She belongs to the streets.
She belongs to the streets. Ain't no help for that spawn of Satan. She belongs to the streets. Thou shalt not kill. I mean, there's so many. Like, I could
Just making sure Gypsy's the.
find so many.
Alright. I'm going to play you states 247.
For English, for collect call, please enter the area code. Please state your name and speak.
Is that you?
This call is subject to recording recording and monitoring. You may hear silence during the acceptance of your call. Please continue to hold. Hello, this is a free call from an inmate at
Bernalillo County Metropolitan Detention Center.
this call is subject to recording and monitoring. To accept this free call, press 1. To refuse this free call, thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
I hate that echo.
Yes.
I can't understand her. She's muffled. I did catch that this phone call is between her and her mother. What is this? We got like 10 minutes of testimony left.
When's your
I don't know.
Oh, God.
What do you do if the cops are coming at you, Mom?
I know, this is just terrific, Jessica. They actually do some horrible things.
Her mama's saying that it's horrific. They said you've done some horrible things, and she said, "What would you do if you had the cops coming?" Jessica asked her mom, "What would you do if you had the cops coming after you?"
But did you do it? Did you see this?
Yeah. Okay.
Let me pause right there. Whose voice are we hearing?
Mine and my mother's.
Your mom's. And she said, did you do it? And what did you say?
I said no.
And she said, did you see it?
And I said yes.
Oh, Jessica.
But everything's gonna be alright.
I want to get ready with you.
I'm gonna race you a little bit, not tomorrow.
She asked, "When are they gonna arraign you?" Hey, Tati. Good to see you, love. Hey, Minion. Is Minion back today? It's not showing up on my side, but I see that Abella's saying hey to you. Good to see you, Minion. Tom said they were coming for you for good reason. Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, cool. I can't want one news. Don't even want to news.
Have you talked to Jenny?
No, she called me and you talked to her.
You talked to her, okay? She's gonna be children, one off of you, everything, okay, Mom? Okay?
Okay. Jessica, what? I don't understand.
I can't understand a damn word that's being said.
I know that I've been on Facebook, nothing. I know all the news, nothing. It's just everywhere and it's horrible. And I can't take this. I never got big down there.
I'm hoping they do like a recap or they ask her specific questions. There you are about it. Because I can't grasp a damn word that they're saying.
I know, but I didn't want nothing to happen to you guys. That's why I didn't go home.
I know she said, "I know, Mom, but I didn't want nothing to happen to you guys. That's why I didn't go home."
You said you didn't want anything to happen to you guys, and that's why you didn't go home.
Oh, you're going to recap the damn one part I could hear and understand. Ma'am.
What were you talking about?
I was talking about the threat that was made for my family.
Oh, God.
Let's do it. You won't never dad, Mom. Or we don't believe, Mom. Okay?
I don't understand.
But my brother,
But you need to talk to me. You put your side out. Okay, hold on for a second.
She said you need to talk to somebody. Hey, Stolen.
Hey,
I'm not going to the full top safely. My brother, just please just get out of it, okay?
I understand out of it, but I want to deactivate your fucking account.
It's just the one at 7@gmail.com.
What's your password?
Tiffany, Mondo and Jeff, 187 at Gmail. Mondo knows it.
Somebody's talking about deactivating an account.
Just all your names?
Yeah, it's just already.
Alright. What was it? Jessica, the number at Gmail?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do need to submit a request to where she's at, but she's in the DOC. It's harder to get records from like the prison as opposed to the jail. I do need to grab the autopsy report because I did say that we would go over that today too. Um, I'm scared. I thought about trying to see if she would like I don't know if her or Fabian would tell me any information about the case since it's over and they're doing their time or whatever, but I don't know. Like, those are scary individuals. I don't know about reaching out to them. Everybody, is scary, but like, I don't know what kind of shit they were involved in. And so I get worried about that shit, but I might try to see if I can pull any prison records, if they'll give me anything from the DOC.
I couldn't think if it was there, brother.
Damn, Tom.
It was already there.
You what?
He just like Frank, what's on his bird, and he's fucking called on fucking something that he don't even know he's doing. If that wasn't for me, he would be dead too.
He fucking straight fucking said your name on the news. Jessica Kelly did it. Before they put him in the car, I didn't do it. Jessica Kelly did this. I protected the baby of Michelle when he got in the car. He didn't even say your name, he said your full name.
Okay, I'll take care of it. I just need a little bit of one of my books to make sure I can get some soap and let it out, okay?
Thank you for using Securus. Goodbye.
So, those calls were made, the calls to your mom were made, just August 26th, 2016, seem right to you, just a couple days after this happened?
Yes.
You talked to her a couple times in a row,
Yeah.
let's say, 248, please.
For collect call, please enter the... Please take your name and speak. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. You may hear silence during the acceptance of your call. Please continue to hold. Hello, this is a free call from an inmate at
Bernalillo County Metropolitan Detention Center.
This call is subject to recording and monitoring. To accept this free call, press 1. To refuse this free call, press 2. Thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
Hey,
Hey, when you go to Uncle David's and get my EBT card, because they gave me $15 in cash for my EBT card. There's money in it. I don't even know where Uncle David is. You don't? I'm not now on, I'm not even gonna worry about it. I haven't been able to go to work, I haven't been able to leave my house, or anything, just because it's all over everywhere, and everybody knows where my God, and it's terrible.
So she's saying she can't leave the house and because of everything that's done and everything that's on the news, everybody's judging her and how terrible it is, this crime. I did get the autopsy that somebody had sent me, one of our lovely members, and I watermarked them real quick. I am going to put them, what I have, up without the watermark on Patreon, but I'm working on downloading those now so we can go over that next before we go over Michelle's testimony.
Beyond terrible. What do you want me to do? I want you to tell me the truth.
It's a little hard to hear, but when your mom said to tell you the truth, tell her the truth, what did you tell her?
I told her I didn't do it.
Okay. If you didn't do it, you would nobody to allow it. You could have stopped it. Yes, you could have stopped it. You could have ran out and called, banged on the neighbor's door, something. You could have stopped it, Jessica. Because this old one's dead. On her birthday, she's dead, Jessica. She was cut up in little pieces. I don't understand. And I didn't see nothing anymore. You did your thing that you did. It's so hard. It's just, I can't comprehend it. I can't. Because, period. Everybody told you, no, I don't even want to hear it. You gotta take responsibility because everybody told you. You know what the drugs did to you. You were with your kids Sunday night. Happy birthday, Mondo, huh? And yeah, I'm sorry if I'm making you feel bad, but you should feel bad. Okay? Don't blame yourself. Okay? I didn't serve you this time. I don't know what's been going on. Well, you'll find out when you go to court. And you'll find out when you get in jail. That's all I can say. You want to kill Jessica? It's bad. And what happened to this little girl is unspeakable. It is unspeakable. And I can't believe that my family had anything to fucking do with it.
I mean, I'm with her right there. I mean, this shit is unspeakable. It's horrible, and yeah, I would be really upset that my family name was being brought into the shit. Like it's absolutely the worst case in New Mexico history. She deserves every bit of what she's getting from her mama, and her mama is justified in feeling that way, in my opinion.
You don't understand. That has nothing to do with it. No, has nothing to do with it. Again, brothers are nothing with that. And I don't want to hear any of that bullshit or none of that. All people threaten me this, people tell you this. There's a little pain of truth, and it's going to stop that. I'm sorry, but that makes you just stop that. Jessica, if all this has done that happened, you had to have heard some things. You have one evening left. They murdered and dismembered a little girl. And the apartment you were in, Jessica. Well, you need to tell them what you know. Just be honest and get it out and tell them what you know, please. I can't believe this. I just can't believe this. This is like a nightmare. I can't wake up from. This isn't real. This is not real. And it's real. Oh my God. And my kids and Martha is like, they're going to go to school.
Your mom was almost angry with you.
Yeah.
Why do you think she was angry?
So I allowed myself to be put in that situation.
So just going back a little bit to what was asked of you in
Right, Tom?
cross-examination, just to recap. When you talked to Detective Lewis in 2018 and gave your statement, that was not the first time that you told someone that someone else was in the apartment, was it?
No.
You told the first responding officers on the scene? Is that right, yes?
Yes.
You told the detectives at the hospital?
Yes.
You told your other inmates?
Yes.
And it was also not the first time that you talked about the defendant being involved, is that right?
That's right.
You told your mom just, and your brother just
Yes.
understood it?
Hey, Mercedes.
You have a moment? You may.
I think that's about all of her testimony. Oh, no, I was wrong.
No further questions of this witness, Ryan? If you need this witness be excused, you may.
Reprise, Your Honor.
All right, let's have a quick bench conference, come on up.
Okay, so they do cross-examine her for hold on, I'll just play it and mute it. For like 2 minutes. I do have the autopsy report. We will go over it. I did watermark mine. Hey, bye, Cindy. I see that you're leaving. I hope you have a good day, love. I will put it up without the watermark on my Patreon, and I'm going to start taking pictures of all the paperwork that I have.
A couple of questions, Ms.
Dang
Kelly.
it. All he said was, I have a couple of questions, Miss Kelly. I will start taking pictures because, like, they sent me copies of the files, so I'll start taking pictures of those and getting them up on Patreon as well. I guess I'll have to ask in Patreon, but like I can try to put the audio files up there. I mean, it's like just recording. It would be just the recordings without my overlays. It's pretty much the same thing we have on YouTube. I don't know. I think that like body cam would be better, and I didn't get any body cam on this case yet. Anyway, I did request something else, and if it has video, then I'll definitely put it up there. But like stuff that's just audio, I don't know. I feel like y'all could get it off of my YouTube and just like use a different overlay if you wanted to use it or something. Honestly.
You talked to your mom from the jail, and you said you couldn't go home. Let's see what you said. You said you said, I didn't want anything to happen to you guys. That's why I didn't go home. Do you remember telling your mom that?
I do.
Now, were you talking about the threat that...
Objection, Your Honor. I'd ask that Mr. Aarons state to read the question and let's see if the answer is.
At what point in time between your release from prison on the 15th and your arrest on the early morning hours of the 24th, did you have a threat that you couldn't go home?
After Victoria was killed.
Well, how could you have gone home? I mean, so you said after she's dead, but before you're arrested, that's when you could have gone home? All right, so Victoria's killed sometime in the early evening of the 23rd, right?
Yes.
And you jumped off the porch.
Objection, Your Honor. Can we narrow this, please? Let's just narrow down the time frame. I think that's what you're trying to do, Mr. Aarons.
Hey, a name here.
Just get to that ultimate issue.
When could you have gone home after the murder?
was gone.
And then you heard your brother tell you that the defendant, Mr. Gonzales, gave your full name in the news and said Jessica did it. Jessica Kelly did it. Did you hear him tell you that?
Yes,
How did that make you feel?
confused.
Does that relate to your feeling that you're the scapegoat in this case?
No.
That's all I have.
All right, thank you. May this witness be excused?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so that's all of Jessica Kelly's testimony. Let's look at this autopsy report, and then we will check out what Michelle Martins had to say on the stand. I've heard that Fabian did testify, so we might have to go over this for another day. I know tomorrow we're going to do Lily and Jack and try to keep their story out there as it's dying down. Okay, let me pull this up. I did, like I said, I did watermark it. It's not hard to find. If you know, if you want to find it yourself, I am going to add it to Patreon. That's why I watermarked it. Sometimes, like, other creators will come and just take your content and not give you credit. You know what I mean? So that's why I do that. Okay, so this is from the probably University Office of Medical Investigator, University of New Mexico Health Sciences Center. It's a death investigation summary for Victoria Martins. Her cause of death was manual strangulation. Her manner of death is a homicide. It says the death of Victoria Martins was investigated by the Office of the Medical Investigator under the statutory authority of the Office of the Medical Examiner. Numerous photographs were obtained. This document is divided into 9 sections. Okay. So there was evidence of manual strangulation, multiple abrasions and contusions involving the head and neck, intermuscular hemorrhages of strap muscles. Let's read the summary. Miss Victoria Martins was a 10-year-old white female who was reportedly found by law oh my goodness, I'm already messing up. Okay, I wanted to make sure y'all could see it. Oh, thank you. I know, I feel old. She's going to be 18 in the summer, like real soon. Like, I'm like, she's my firstborn. I'm like, ugh. But I'm so proud of her for graduating. Okay. So she was a 10-year-old white female who was reportedly found by law enforcement personnel in a bathtub and unresponsive. According to reports, she was wrapped in a blanket that had been set on fire in her mother's apartment. Her arms, a portion of her sternum, heart, and left lobe of liver were found wrapped in a plastic bag in a laundry basket. Let me put up this trigger warning real quick because this is probably going to be horrific. Autopsy revealed a well-developed, well-nourished young female wrapped in plastic bags and a charred piece of cloth. The bilateral upper extremities, heart, left lobe of liver, and sternum were received separately and wrapped in plastic bags. Multiple contusions and abrasions were present on the head, neck, and torso. There were contusions on the inner lip that corresponded to the decedent's teeth. Small pinpoint hemorrhages were present in the eyes, mouth, and on the face. Hemorrhages involved in the muscles of the anterior and posterior aspects of the neck and corresponded with overlaying contusions. Hemorrhages were also found around the spinal cord. Post-mortem sharp force injuries which lacked vital responses. So basically, when they dismembered her, she was already deceased. There was a spiral fracture of the left upper extremity without soft tissue hemorrhaging. This was evidence of perimortem penetrating trauma to, oh, there was evidence of perimortem penetrating trauma to the rectum, including a posterior tear and abrasions unilaterally, which means that she was basically raped. Microscopic exam revealed mild hopsic, ischemic changes of the brain and viral cytopathic changes consistent with human papillomavirus, a sexually transmitted disease in the rectum. Screening of swabs was taken from the mouth, neck, chest, abdomen, front door, back door, arms, butts, and thighs were all negative for sperm. Post-mortem toxicology of the liver revealed that there was alcohol, less than 5%, which would have been a normal level. The findings were reviewed. Compression of the neck structures causes impaired blood flow to the brain and results in loss of consciousness and death. The finding of abrasions and contusions around the head, neck, hemorrhage in the neck muscles, and something area such as the eyes or lips are consistent with manual strangulation. The sharp force injuries described above show no vital response, finding a keeping with being inflicted post-mortem. No soot was found in the airway, and the level of carbon monoxide was low or normal, indicating that there was no evidence of inhalation excuse me, of combustible or combustion. Basically, she didn't breathe in the fire. Therefore, it is our opinion, based on the currently available information and findings at autopsy, that Miss Victoria died as a result of manual strangulation. The manner of death is best classified as homicide. Mm. So that gives us an idea. Yeah, it is awful. Hey, lovely bones. That gives us an idea of what was going on with her. It is really sad. It says again, the upper extremities, heart, left lobe of liver, and sternum were received separately. This goes into like specifics of each injury. Thermal injuries involve the torso and lower extremities. However, no soot is seen in the airway. I'm just scanning over this. I'm not finding anything we haven't discussed already. Urinary bladder mucosa was gray, tan, and smooth. No significant histopathological findings. She had mild decomposition was going on. I haven't seen a time of death yet. There was no lumbar or pelvic fractures. The lower chest, the left liver lobe is absent. The bowel is gas descended and protrudes through the abdominal wall. Defect. No other solid organ injury. No free fluid. No lumbar, spine, or pelvic fractures detected. Gives me the date of the examination. was trying to see if there was a conclusion. I'm going to go all the way back up to the top and see if it gave me a time of death on the front first page. Okay, so her pronounced date and time of death was the 24th at 11:30 a.m. I do believe. And the date that this happened was the 22nd at 3:42 p.m. So how do we got a date of um why was she pronounced on the 24th at 11:30 a.m.? Is that because that's when they got somebody to pronounce her as deceased? Like, why do we not have a time of death? Let me see what y'all are saying because I have to look on a different page. Hey, Cara. Joy said, hey, Bap, it is beyond effed up. They're going to take care of him when they find out his paperwork. He won't last long. That's when she was found, you think? Hmm. Cara! Okay. So it gives me like the exam date and time. They pronounced her on August 24th of 2016 at 11:30 a.m. And her birthday was August 23rd, 2006. Like she literally died on her birthday. Wow. I'm going to keep looking through that and see if we can find a time of death. Like I know they pronounced her at 11:30. That might be all we get as far as that goes. Okay, so we're going to get into the trial of Michelle and see what she had to say. Not the trial of Michelle. Hold on. Sorry. We're going to get in. Oh my gosh. Now, we're going to get into the testimony of Michelle at Fabian Gonzales's trial and see what all she had to say. And again, I mean, we might, I think that's all of her testimony, but I could be wrong. Um, and we're going to see if Fabian testifies as well. But like I said, tomorrow we're going to do Lily and Jack Sullivan. So if we do continue covering the trial, it will continue it on what, Friday?
So I did email the jury instructions to the parties yesterday. Any issue with them at all?
No issue from the stage.
Defense?
No issue from the defense.
One thing I want to put on the record,
I can't.
should I come up here because it's easier?
Yeah, please.
Thank you.
Bap, I can't either. I will never understand why she did that. And their excuse from a psychologist is that she thought it was getting her out of trouble. That's why when she's eating that burger at the end of the um, interrogation, she looks so damn confused about being arrested because she thought she was. I mean, it makes sense, but I don't understand why. Sorry, I was reading comments. I don't understand why she lied like that. Like how could you think that saying those things was going to get you out of trouble? Low IQ, I get it, but like even at that to that extent, like to what she said, my goodness. Yeah, sometimes if you can't catch my attention, use an emoji like or something red. That would probably get my attention. I'm sorry if I missed what you guys were saying. Linda said, "What time did the cops arrive?" I think it was very early morning hours. That morning. Joy's birthday is next Thursday. Okay. Joy's birthday is next Thursday. Okay. Like tomorrow or like next Thursday? I was on another page. It's hard for me to see sometimes. Sorry. Yeah. It was confusing because of all the lies. You think she was scared? Probably. Hey, Indy. Good to see you, love. Allegedly speculating is actually a hen? Probably. Wouldn't surprise me to learn that I'm a hen. Yes. Okay. Let's get back to it.
I have finally caught up to this argument a little bit more, and there's no question it can be child endangerment resulting in death, and that's in State versus Chavez. There's 3 child endangerments. The first degree was acquitted by the jury in that case, but there was the death of a child. So I caught up to, I think, where the argument has been going that I have been missing. I tried to find any evidence of indirect causation, which is what my argument has been all the way along, and I did find in the Court of Appeals opinion by Lynn Pickard.
I'm trying to see if they just now called her to the stand or if we need to go back to where they call her to the stand. I'm going to go right here.
He should be on Zoom, and my understanding is that if he needs to speak with his client or she needs to speak with him, he'll signal. Is that correct?
That's fine.
That's what he told me. We probably just need to tell her that.
Sure, we can do that. And we won't have him on the screen here, but we'll have him on the screen in front of Melissa, so let's have it.
So that verifies that Fabian is there via Zoom or will be and testifies via Zoom, I think. What are we doing right now? Sped it up for a minute. Just to see what they're doing. Oh, they're moving fast.
One thing we need to think about first is when the verdict comes in, do we want Mr. Gonzales here in person, or do we want him to appear on Google Meet? So that's something that the parties to think about how we're going to handle that.
So they're talking about when the verdict comes in.
Right there, I'm going to go ahead and get it.
Oh! Sorry, I was on another page. Linda, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate that. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. Thank you so much, Linda. I really appreciate that. Whose birthday is it? Oh, I said happy early birthday, Mandy. Little Fish said happy birthday and many more. Okay, I'm done. Linda, thank you so much for the super sticker. That was so sweet. Hey, Coco. Good to see you. Coco says, I'm from the area and her family is so disgusting. Her sister is Crystal Kelly, came out on a reality show for prisoners, and Fabian's brother killed a man a year later. The whole family is gross. We have discussed some of those things. I didn't know about the reality show, but listening to Crystal and Jessica's jail calls, I could see how disgusting she is. That's insane. I knew about Fabian's brother. We did talk about it one day. Thank you for the information. Yeah, she does appear to be very tall. I do think this is her first time testifying, and I'm going to definitely be looking for Fabian's testimony. We'll see how this goes. Maybe she'll say, I'm sure they're going to ask her about why she lied during the interrogations and things, so maybe we'll find out. You are so sweet. Coco, I'll keep you in my prayers, sweetheart. I'm sorry. That's awful. That is insane.
Ms. Martin, your attorney is on Zoom. He's observing the proceedings on Zoom. If you should need to speak with him during your testimony, you can just...
So it's her attorney that's on Zoom. Okay. My bad. I misunderstood. It's not Fabian. It's her attorney.
Let me know you need to speak with your attorney, and then we'll give you that time to talk to him.
Okay.
Okay, so just let me know if that comes up.
Hey, Scratch.
All right, are we ready for the jury?
They're not on.
They're not on through yet, we're a little bit early.
Okay. Oh, scary. Okay, that's where they rise for the jury.
Martin?
Okay, all she said was her name. No doubt. Me too.
Ms. Martins, can you hear me?
Yes.
I've got a better mask on.
I'm going to need you to speak quite a bit louder, please.
Quite a bit louder. Okay, good. How's that, Your Honor? Is that better?
A little bit louder, because the jury back there aren't going to hear you.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so, Ms. Martins, do you want to be called Ms. Martins or Michelle for this?
Michelle, please.
Michelle, okay. I've seen you once before, but I don't think you and I have ever talked, have we?
No.
Okay. And you understand that I'm representing Fabian Gonzales, who you can't see in the courtroom. He's actually on a monitor that I don't think you can see from where you are.
This is Michelle Martins, the mother of Victoria Martins, and she is testifying in the trial against Fabian Gonzales.
Okay.
Okay, but you know Fabian Gonzales?
Yes.
And you know I'm his lawyer?
Yes.
Okay. And
Hey, Abraham.
the judge swore you
Hey,
in.
LJ.
How are you feeling today?
A little bit nervous.
Yeah, I'm very nervous. And I do have a script, so I'm going to be talking to you, but it isn't going to be quite conversational. Do you understand that?
Yes.
I have to ask you questions.
Yes.
And so it won't be like that interview that you had with the psychiatrist where you guys chatted a bunch. Do you remember that interview?
Yes.
Do you remember his name?
Dr. Whitfield?
What was it?
Whitfield?
Wellner, would that
Yes.
be right?
Yes.
So I'm going to need you to scooch closer to the microphone. Jurors are going to be having a hard time hearing you.
Okay.
Okay. So do you know what it means to be a witness in the trial?
Yes.
Okay. And
I'm going to try to speed this up just a little bit. I don't know if it'll be too fast. We'll see. Yes, Veronica, her mother was the one trying to speak in that language on the phone to her.
we're going to have to speak up. You can't shake your head, just like in those other times you were questioning that there's a court monitor making a tape recording. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great. And you are answering. I don't see you shaking your head.
I think that's too fast.
Do you remember giving a statement to the district attorneys and all the lawyers in November of 2017?
Yes.
Okay, good. And I think I've already asked you about your later statement with Dr. Wellner. Do you remember what he was, what his role was?
He was a psychiatrist.
Okay. Did you understand that he was hired by the state, that he was the state psychiatrist?
Yes.
Okay. And was that in April of 2018?
But I don't remember the exact month.
Okay, but that was sometime later than the earlier
Yes.
interview? Okay.
Yes.
And both interviews were sometime after the events where you lost your daughter?
Yes.
So, right after this happened that morning, August 24th, were you bleeding?
Yes.
And did you go to the hospital?
Yes.
We'll come back to that. But do you remember after the hospital being driven to the police station?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And do you remember what happened in the police station?
No, they were interrogating me.
Okay. And do you remember much of that interrogation?
Vaguely?
Vaguely.
Yes.
And Dr. Wellner went over certain aspects of that interrogation with you, didn't he?
Yes.
Okay. And did that help you remember something from it?
A little bit.
Okay. Do you know why you said the
Hey, Marcia, good to see you.
things you said in that
Objection, Your
interrogation?
Honor, may we approach?
So they are going to ask her why she said those things. Lord. All right, they come back here. Maybe we'll get answers.
So you're a witness in this case, but you're also a defendant, is that true?
Yes.
Okay. And without saying what you pled to, is it true you entered into a plea deal with the state of New Mexico?
Yes.
And is your attorney available to you in case you need to ask them a question or talk to them?
I think so, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so make
She did. It's in the paperwork. There was lube found on the bed and stuff. Her and Fabian had relations while Victoria was in the bathtub. Now, whether she knew or not, I don't know. But they did have relations while Victoria was in the bathtub. Like I can, I've read through the paperwork and I can like guarantee that that happened. Unfortunately.
sure you know you can do that if you need to.
Yes.
Okay, so you're a witness, you're a defendant, and are you also a victim?
Yes, I am.
Were you attacked during the night of August 23rd, early hours of August 24th, 2016?
Yes.
Okay, and what happened?
I was woken up from, I was passed out from 12 to 4:30, and then I was woke up by Jessica on the side of my bed asking me if I believe in Jesus. And
Okay, hang on, just, I don't want you to go too fast. And then after when she asked you if you believed in Jesus, were you still in your bed?
yes.
Okay, and then what happened?
And then she was like, you, part of my language, she said, you first, bitch. And then she took the iron and she hit me with it right here.
Yes, right here. All right, so first let's have that mask over your nose.
Okay, so
Please. And then let's get the microphone a little bit closer. We're having a hard time picking you up on the audio.
that one.
Yeah, let's try, we're going to try different things with that microphone. Let's try that.
Okay, could you repeat that last answer? What did she say to you before she hit you?
She said, you first, bitch, and then she hit me with the clothes iron in my forehead.
Did we hear that? Not really.
So you got to lean right up into that microphone.
Okay.
Say it again.
Okay, so she hit me with the clothes iron. She said, you first, bitch, and then she hit me in the forehead.
Okay. And did you know it was an iron at that time, or just know you'd been hit?
I just knew I'd been hit.
When, if ever, did you realize it was an iron?
After the fact that she hit me.
After the fact that she hit?
Yes.
Okay, so you did see the iron?
Yes.
Okay. And at that point, did you start getting blood, or was that later?
I think it was at that point.
Okay. And were you a little bit dizzy already, or not really?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And did you lose your daughter that night?
Yes.
And obviously, you're in jail because you're wearing the jumpsuit.
Yes.
Have you been in jail since August 24th?
Yes.
And have you received any counseling in jail?
Yes.
Objection, relevance.
Approach.
So, Mercedes said, do they have her on the stand just for entertainment? They could get her to admit to killing John F. Kennedy, sinking the Titanic, and crucifying Jesus. She'd go along with it all. And that's probably true. What I do want to point out is that she is of low IQ. Um, so I don't know. She's a witness of what happened that night. And that's why they keep approaching, like they keep stopping because of her low IQ and what she witnessed that night. That's all I know. She's gonna have to testify because she was there. She saw things. She needs to give another perspective. So they're definitely gonna have her testify. They've given her counseling. I don't know. I think they're trying to tread very carefully because she is of low IQ. Her grammar is terrible. Tom said, I hope he asked what brand of iron it was. I need a new iron and want one that will last. No doubt. Thank you, bad girl. Lovely said, her crying because she's in jail angers me. Yeah, that is bullshit. Those glasses are very thick. Um, in the clips that we played, hold on, let me just go ahead and pull it up. We're going to, let me go ahead and play it for the day. Hold on just a minute. I think it's that one, yep. Okay, right here. Oh.
Martins are no longer charged with the murder of 10-year-old Victoria Martins.
We were forced to consider the possibility that Michelle Martins had falsely incriminated herself and Fabian Gonzales in this heinous act.
Target 7 looked through the transcripts of the interview Martins had with police after the girl's death, and we found some glaring contradictions.
The detective asks her, how did Victoria die? Do you know? Michelle responds by saying she tasted the meth that was on the table. Later in that same interview, an investigator asks again, how did they kill her, Michelle? How did they kill Victoria? This time, Michelle says by stabbing her. They ask her once more later, how did they kill your daughter? And she says by raping her. The investigators didn't understand that answer, and she says they covered her mouth. Even the police asking the questions admit they don't understand why Martins is admitting to horrible crimes. They told her, I guess sometimes I don't understand why you'll tell the truth on these big, huge things, but on little things you try to lie, and it makes no sense to me. Prosecutors hired a forensic psychiatrist named Dr. Michael Wellner, who said a combination of trauma, drug abuse, and suggestive questioning by police made Michelle Martins give them false statements.
She made admissions she felt were separating herself from the murder and the dismemberment, but in fact, she was placing herself there.
So maybe I was wrong. It might have just been in the jail calls with Jessica that they say she's of low IQ. I thought the forensic psychiatrist said that, but he didn't say it on the news. So I could be wrong. Maybe it was just in the jail phone calls and I'm recalling it from that. I think she is, but again, I could be wrong. I do know that she should have never had custody of them children. I know that for 100% fact.
Have you accepted that your daughter's dead?
Not fully, no.
It's a hard fact to accept, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Sam.
The jury's heard a lot about your daughter, but you were there with her from the start. How did she come into the world?
She was my miracle child, I called her, because I delivered her by myself at home. And
what?
One night I just went into labor with her at my house, and they wound up taking me to the hospital afterwards with her. And basically, I wasn't having no doctor visits. I didn't take no prenatal care or anything, and she was healthy. That's why I called her my miracle child.
She didn't even know she was pregnant until she went into labor, is what I'm gathering from that. Wow. I mean, y'all, I don't know, but low IQ or something going on here.
And was she a good daughter? Did she help you around the house?
Yes.
But when did she typically take showers or baths, if you remember?
Like every other day.
At the end of the day? Is that what
Every other day?
Every other day?
Yes.
Okay. And would she take a shower or bath?
Sometimes switch it on and off.
Okay. And did she do it at the end of the day or before she went to school or early?
The end of the day.
End of the day?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't happen to remember if the night before this all happened, she took a shower or bath? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Hey, Dissolver, good to see you. Dissolver said, I don't know, the devil just got in me. No doubt. Hey, Genevieve, good to see you.
Did Victoria have friends?
Yes, she had a lot of friends.
Her own age?
Yes.
And at school?
Yes.
And what about in the neighborhood? Did she have friends in the neighborhood?
Yes, she did.
See, I don't know. Yeah, Bad Girl said, "Don't babies roll and kick around and all of that?" Yeah, I felt my children move, and it was like, especially, my first child, when I felt her move for the first time, I was just like in love, and it was completely different than anything I had ever felt in my life. But it does happen. Like, people do like not know that they're pregnant, but I'll never understand that because feeling a baby move around and kicking things is a lot different than gas pains.
And did she also get along with the adults?
Yes.
And how did the adults respond to her?
Oh, they loved her. They said that she's a very good child. She was outgoing. She was very playful.
Hey Julie, maybe that's a answer. She said if your placenta is to the front, you won't feel anything as much. So maybe that's why. Little Fish said, I watched the interrogation. She kept going from her bedroom and back to her daughter's room, watching them do that to the poor little girl. Right, but as you just saw with the news clip, that interrogation, we have to take it with a grain of salt. You're welcome, love. All right, I'm going to stop pausing so much and let us just listen.
Did you ever worry about Victoria being around anyone in your apartment complex?
No.
What about the boyfriend before Fabian?
I was kind of a little bit worried of her being around him
Okay, and why was that?
because he was trying to make passes at my daughter.
Okay. And was there a particular incident, without getting into it too much, but was
Hold
there
on.
an incident that...
Did she just say Fabian or the other boyfriend? Backing it up a minute and turning captions back on.
Oh, they loved her. They said that she's a very good child. She was outgoing. She was very playful.
Did you ever worry about Victoria being around anyone in your apartment complex?
No.
What about the boyfriend before Fabian?
I was kind of a little bit worried of her being around him
Okay, before
Okay, and why
Fabian.
was that?
because he was trying to make passes at my daughter.
Okay. And was there a particular incident, without getting into it too much, but was there an incident that alarmed you?
No, not really.
Okay, there wasn't something you were told by your mom that made you worried that
No.
Victoria disclosed?
No.
Were you talking about David?
Yes.
Okay. Were you, after that, were you more protective of Victoria than before?
Yes, I was.
And particularly around men?
Yes.
So you wouldn't want a man to be alone with Victoria?
No.
And you wouldn't want a man going into her room at night?
No.
Okay. Okay. And did you confront that boyfriend, David, with what you were worried about?
Yes, I did.
And what was the result? What did you decide to do?
I kicked him out of my house.
You kicked him out of the house?
Yes.
If you'd seen Fabian going into her room, would you have been alarmed?
Yes.
Would you have done something about it?
Yes, I would have.
Okay, let's talk about Fabian. Before all this happened, before Jessica Kelly, how did you feel about Fabian?
I thought he was a good guy.
Did you know he drank?
Not at first, no.
Okay. And did you know he liked to smoke pot?
Not at first.
Okay. And did you know about any other drugs?
No.
Okay, so the night of August 22nd, just after midnight, did you get a text from Fabian asking if you wanted to do a line?
Yes, I did.
And what kind of a line did you think that was?
I knew it was cocaine.
Cocaine. And so that's a hard drug, right?
I believe so.
Okay, so was that the first time that you knew he might use hard drugs?
Yes.
Okay. Back to before Jessica arrived at the scene. What did you like about Fabian?
He was a decent guy, I thought.
Okay. And did he help you around the house?
Yes, he did.
Was it man help? You know, the kind where you have to ask for each thing the man does?
No, he just did it.
He just did it. Did he ever prepare meals?
Yes.
And what about vacuuming? Did he vacuum?
I don't know.
You don't know. How about mopping the kitchen floor? Did he do that?
I didn't see him do that.
Okay, you never asked him to mop the kitchen
No.
floor?
No.
Okay. But he might have?
He might have, I don't know.
Okay. How was he with your kids, Matthew and Victoria?
He was pretty good with them.
Okay. And in terms of Victoria, how did Fabian and she get along?
They got along good.
Was all good? Do you ever think he was inappropriate with her?
Not that I've seen.
Okay. And after your experience with David, were you still on a word about it?
Yes.
Okay. Was Fabian ever abusive towards Victoria?
No.
Okay. Did he discipline her?
No.
Hold on. I don't know why. Okay, I don't know why it does that. I was typing a comment and it makes everything just disappear. I don't know what's up with that, but I need StreamYard to fix it immediately. Sorry about that. There we go.
Accepted and been published before, I think. Can you see that?
Yes.
Do you know about this note?
I don't know about it, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I backed
But
it
he
up.
might have?
He might have, I don't know.
Okay.
Hey,
How was
Leonard.
he with your kids, Matthew and Victoria?
He was pretty good with them.
Okay. And in terms of Victoria, how did Fabian and she get along?
They got along good.
Was all good? Do you ever think he was inappropriate with her?
Not that I've seen.
Okay. And after your experience with David, were you still on a word about it?
Yes.
Okay. Was Fabian ever abusive towards Victoria?
No.
Okay. Did he discipline her?
No.
Would you have allowed him to discipline her?
No.
Could you tell if Victoria liked Fabian?
She did.
Okay. I want to show you a state's exhibit. And I believe it's state's exhibit 188. Do you put this face up, Judge? I'm really not familiar with it. It's been accepted and been published before, I think. Can you see that?
Yes.
Do you know about this note?
I don't know about it, no.
Okay. But does that look like your daughter's handwriting?
Yes.
Okay. And it looks like she liked it?
Yes.
Yeah. There's a second page to it. I don't really understand what this page is, but can you tell me anything about it? Does that look like, should I turn it upside down for you? You know your daughter, what do you think she was saying in that note?
I have no idea, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. Thank you very much. Do you think there's anything inappropriate about those notes since you didn't really know about them?
No.
Okay. And this is sort of the same question in a different form, but it's the way we actually think, I think. Was there anything in Fabian and Victoria's relationship that made you feel, I don't like this?
No. Not at first, no.
And was Fabian ever mean to your kids?
No.
So why not tell your folks about Fabian?
Because I was afraid.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
I was afraid.
You were afraid?
Yeah.
Okay. And was it too early in the relationship?
Yes.
Now, did you invite Fabian to live with you, or did he invite himself?
I invited him.
And after you met Fabian, did you quit your job?
No.
And after you met Fabian, did you start taking drugs?
No.
And after you met Fabian, did you stop caring for your kids?
No.
How would you say things were between the two of you at that time?
At that time, it was okay.
It was okay?
Yes.
And I think you have to lift your mask up.
Oh,
notice it. But
sorry.
that's what we've got to do. And if mine falls down, tell me.
Okay.
Um,
So this trial takes place in July. Sorry, it's probably far away. This trial takes place in July of 2022. So I don't know. They require them in the courtroom for everybody. Um, and yeah, it keeps falling below her nose. I mean, I don't know. I have to question her cognitive ability just listening to her testify and see about the mask and all of that. Maybe that's how the predators found her. I don't know. I mean, again, I still will always find it weird that so many predators found her specifically.
okay. Now, when Jessica Kelly came into your life, how did you first hear about Jessica Kelly?
Fabian had told me about her,
And what did Fabian tell you about her?
that she was getting out of prison and she needed a place to stay.
Okay. And were you sympathetic to someone not having a place to stay?
I was.
And did that have something to do with homelessness for you?
No. It's just I don't like to see people like be homeless, you know?
Okay. And you yourself had experienced some period of homelessness, no?
Yeah, a while back.
Yeah. Okay, so how did your relationship with Fabian change when Jessica came into the picture?
He started getting attitude.
Okay. With you or with her or how?
With me, he started yelling at me.
Okay. Did you feel like he was somehow between you and Jessica?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you decided Jessica had to go, did Fabian agree with you?
Yes, he did.
Okay. What happened on the night of the barbecue, if you can remember? Were you at work?
I was at work, yes.
Okay, and when did you get off of shift?
9:30 at night.
9:30. And who picked you up?
Fabian.
Okay, and did you have your children with your parents or were they home?
They were with my parents.
Okay, so did you go pick up your children?
Yes.
Okay, and then you went home?
Yes.
So in the car, what was Fabian's mood, attitude, whatever?
He was kind of like distant.
Distant?
Yes.
Okay. And when you got back to the house, did he tell you all what happened, or did he tell you in the car?
No, he said that he just got hit by somebody at the barbecue.
Okay. And could you see it that he'd been hit as the black man?
Yes.
Okay. And how was your daughter relating to him? Was she sympathetic, or did she not want to listen to it?
She just asked him what happened to his eye, and she was like, "Oh, I hope you feel better."
Okay. And when you got back to the house, there's a question of whether there was any bleeding or any kind of blood around the eyes. Was there?
I didn't see any.
You didn't see any?
No.
Did anybody wipe him down with a rag?
No.
Not that you saw?
Not that I saw.
Okay. And when he was distant, was he also angry? Could you tell?
I couldn't tell.
Okay. Was he angry at you?
No.
Not at all.
Hey,
Did
Devon.
you know he searched for guns that night?
No, I did not.
Okay. Did he say anything to you about guns?
No.
How did you feel about Jessica Kelly being, was she gone that night?
She was.
How did you feel?
Hey, Red Moon, Blessed, and Divine Rain. It's good to see y'all. Thank you for hanging out with us this here day.
Feel about her being gone?
I felt relieved.
Relieved. Okay. At about this time, do you remember what your feelings were about Jessica Kelly?
She seemed okay.
She seemed okay?
Yes.
So she didn't kill Fabian, Dissolver. This story is about Victoria Martins. Victoria Martins was a 10-year-old little girl that was, this lady on the stand, it was her daughter. On her 10th birthday, she was sexually assaulted, decapitated, and set on fire in a bathtub. And there's a whole long story. This is the worst case in New Mexico history. There's a lot of questions around the case, so I submitted a FOIA to get the information and all the interrogations to try to figure it out, because you hear something like that, the mother's interrogation is absolutely sickening, the things she says that happened, and then you find out it was kind of all a lie. So we are all left with a lot of questions. But I have a playlist that has all the interrogations that I got on my channel. If you would like to check it out, I'm going to try to get the paperwork out too somehow. I don't know how, but that's basically what's going on. We're watching the trial now to see if we can get any more information. This trial is for Fabian Gonzales. He's the only one who went to trial out of the three that were in the house. Jessica Kelly is the main one, and she was sentenced to 50 years. I think she's serving 44. The mother, Michelle, was sentenced to 12 years, and Fabian Gonzales got 37 and a half. Bap said, I keep hearing her say, I just wanted to try it about the sex stuff with Victoria and her son. So, yeah, it's, and you hear that, and it's like some of it is not, like they didn't lead her to say some of the things she said. So, what's true? It is the worst case ever. It really is.
But you were happy that she was out of the house?
Yes.
Okay. So there was friction?
Yes.
Okay. Do you ever remember saying to Fabian, either she goes or you both go?
Yes.
Okay. When was that, if you remember?
I don't remember when.
Okay. So at some point you were really fed up?
Yes.
And at the time you said you were afraid. I think you just answered afraid somewhere in there. I missed it. What were you afraid of that night at the barbecue?
I thought Fabian was going to hit me.
You thought Fabian was going to hit you?
Yes, because he was so angry.
Okay, so you were a little afraid that night?
Yes.
He was pretty angry?
Yes.
Okay. Had he ever hit you?
No.
Did he hit you?
No.
Okay. Did he even make a gesture to hitting you?
No.
Okay. Do you think when you look back on this incident that things like your fear that night may be even bigger because of the unspeakable things that happened to your child?
Yes.
Yes. Let's go to Jessica Kelly. How did you first hear of her?
Fabian had told me about her.
Okay, I did ask that before, I apologize. And you knew she was coming out of prison?
Yes.
And when you first met her, what did you
Sorry.
think?
I thought she...
I didn't mean to do that right in the microphone. Hey, Cecil. Good to see you. I apologize. I thought I was muted.
She was nice.
I'm sorry?
I thought she was nice.
Nice, okay. Were you okay with the idea of her living with you for a little while?
At first, no.
At first, no?
Yes.
But then you decided it was okay?
Yes, and I only gave her a week's time to stay.
A week's time, okay. So she was supposed to be there a brief period of time?
Yes.
Did she seem happy at the time?
At the time, yes.
Okay, good. And there's been evidence that you drove around one night with Jessica and Fabian late at night. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And was Victoria in the car with you?
Yes.
Okay. And was that a school night?
Yes.
Okay. So that would be very unusual for you?
Yes.
Okay. And do you think now, looking back, that that was a red flag?
Yes.
Okay, so while you're driving around that night, were you driving or was Fabian?
I was.
You were driving?
Yes.
Okay. And did it feel like an adventure that night, or did it just feel really weird?
And it just felt weird.
Okay. And did you know what Jessica was doing at all those stops?
I don't.
Okay. But now you know that's a red flag, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And then what happened with Jessica after that? Did you two exchange clothes at some point?
Yes.
Okay. She got some of your clothes and you got some of hers?
Yes.
And you were both smokers, right?
Yes.
And Fabian smoked as well, but not as much. Is that fair to say?
Yes, it is.
So was it nice to have another smoker around for a little bit?
No, not really.
Not really, okay. Where do people smoke in your house?
On the back balcony.
And was that the only place they were allowed to smoke?
Yes.
Was there anything else you liked about Jessica?
No,
Okay. Did she seem energetic?
she did.
Was she trying to get a job?
Yeah, I took her to an interview
Okay. Where was that, if you remember?
at Church's Chicken.
Okay. Do you think she got that job, or do you not know?
She told me she did.
Now, did Jessica get along with your children?
As far as I know.
Okay. Now, it's kind of, we have to separate them, because Matthew didn't live with you all the time, did he?
No, not all the time.
You shared custody with his dad?
Yes.
Okay. So he wasn't around the entire time?
No.
Did she get along with Matthew okay?
Yes.
Okay. And what about Victoria? Did she get along with Victoria?
Yes.
Did Jessica pay much attention to Victoria?
Yes, she did.
Okay. And in fact, did she put makeup on her one time?
Yes, she put makeup on her and I told her to go take it off.
Okay. Was there a discussion about lipstick?
Yes.
Okay. And did you draw the line, no lipstick?
Yes, I did.
Okay. But she got some glitter on, right?
Yes.
And you were okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. And that's your decision to make. What happens with your daughter about whether she gets it?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think this is in reference to that picture of her in heavy makeup. I'm going to see if I can pull it up real quick. I haven't shared it yet because I think that's it. No, that looks like it's just lip gloss. There was one where she appeared to have like heavy makeup on. Maybe that's it. But that's what she's talking about right now. Jessica Kelly put a bunch of lipstick on her and it was heavy makeup and everybody looked at it and was like, why is she wearing such heavy makeup? And was wondering if that was in some, like her profile picture on Plenty of Fish. So if she got on to Jessica about it, I would say it probably wasn't. So that makes me question even more how all the predators found her.
Returning to Victoria again, what did you ever see Jessica mistreat her?
No.
Hey, Tony.
Did you ever hear Jessica say she hated Victoria?
No.
Okay. And she never hit Victoria?
Not that I know of.
And she would have been out of your house if she'd done it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the sequence of time here is, so you can help me out. She came back to the house to be with you after the night when she was gone, right? She was gone the night of the barbecue. Is that correct?
Yes.
So she came back to be in your house sometime, would that be Monday, if you remember?
I don't remember.
Okay, but she's back in the house.
Yes.
Was she different then?
She started acting a little different.
Okay. And when you say she started acting a little different, the jury would love to know what exactly was a little different about her.
And she was just acting more aggressive.
Aggressive?
Yes.
What else?
Like, she was like spaced out.
Spaced out?
Yes.
Okay. And when she was spaced out, was she talking to you and talking to herself?
She was talking to herself. She was talking about how the TV is going to get her.
The TV's going to
That
get
people in the TV are out to get her.
And when she was talking to herself, did you ever hear her say anything that she hated Victoria or mentioned Victoria?
No.
Okay. So it didn't have anything to do with Victoria at that time?
No.
Now, there was a time when Jessica had her kids with her. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And was that at your apartment?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And was it kind of a sleepover or what was it?
Yes.
Okay. And so you saw her operating with her children, right?
Yes.
And was she good with her own children?
Yes.
Did you ever think, like lots of parents do, I wouldn't do that with my kids?
Yes.
Okay. Well, if you can remember, what made you think that with her?
Could you repeat that?
Well, what I'm wondering is, when you're watching Jessica with her children, that when they were in your house with you, did you ever think, like a lot of parents do, well, I wouldn't do that with my kids?
Oh yeah, she would roughhouse with her kids, and I wouldn't do that with mine.
You don't roughhouse with them?
No.
Okay. May we approach Judge?
I don't think that there was never any signs of what was going on. I mean, that's hard for me to believe that she never showed any signs whatsoever. Oh, they're up there for a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. That's a good question, Jessica, because with her charges, I don't think she was supposed to be around even her children, yet her children are spending the night. Like, I don't like that either.
Sorry, I have to go back a little bit.
And so,
Okay, when you were talking to Dr. Wellner, this goes back to the barbecue incident. Did you tell him that you were pretty afraid that night?
not that I could recall.
I couldn't hear your answer. Can you just repeat?
Not that I could recall.
Okay. You don't remember saying you thought if you kicked Fabian and Jessica out, they might get mad and come back with guns?
Oh yes, that I did say.
Okay. And what period of time were you talking about if it wasn't the night of the barbecue?
I don't remember.
Okay. And do you think that maybe that fear that you're talking about in that interview is somewhat related to what terrible things happened to your child, and how could this have happened?
No, because this was before the incident.
I think you did say that before, but I was just asking you in the context of people coming back and shooting up the house. Because you didn't ever hear a threat of that, did you?
No, I didn't.
How would you describe the change in Jessica as far as you felt it?
Like just her attitude changed, her whole personality changed.
Okay. Was it sudden, or did you see it coming for a while?
No, it was just a sudden thing.
Okay. Without saying what Dr. Wellner said, without saying his words, did you get the feeling that he didn't like Fabian?
No.
You didn't get that feeling?
No.
Do you remember being asked if you were drinking on the day that this terrible event happened?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you remember what you said about that? Were you drinking that day?
I was.
Okay, you were. But does that bear some shame for you?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the start of the day when Victoria died. Did it start out okay?
Yes, it did.
Okay. And was it a school day?
Yes, it was.
And was Matthew at home at the start of the day?
No.
Okay. Did you bake cupcakes?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Was Victoria excited?
Yes, she was.
Did she have school the next day?
Yes, she did.
Okay. But that was going to be the day of the party. How did that work?
Yes, we were gonna have a party at a park.
Okay. Was the school day the next day the full day or a half day?
It was a half day.
A half day. So you'd have time to go to the park and have a real party?
Yes.
Okay. Normally, did Victoria get to stay up later when she did not have school?
A little bit.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you about her bedtime. What if you weren't working that night and it was all completely regular? When did she usually go to bed?
Between 8 and 8:30.
8 and 8:30. Okay. And did she wear the same clothing to bed?
No, she changed into pajamas.
Okay. What were her pajamas like? What pajamas did she have?
I don't remember the one she had on.
Okay. You don't remember any pink pajamas?
No.
Okay. Now, she wound up having to stay up later on the nights you worked. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Because you had to pick her up at your mom's house?
Yes.
So those were late nights.
Yes.
And we've talked about one late night that were you driving around with her. Was there any other late nights like that?
No.
That you recall? Was it hard holding a job and raising 2 kids?
It was, being a single mom, it was kind of hard.
So on the morning of the 23rd, did you take Victoria to the bus stop?
Yes, I did.
And was Matthew there with his dad?
Yes, he was.
Was that awkward at all?
No.
Okay. Were you getting along with Matthew's dad at the time?
At the time, yes.
And did you walk home? It's not that far a walk, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay. Was Fabian up?
I don't remember.
And what about Jessica? Was she up?
No.
And in that morning, how were they acting, if you remember?
They were acting normal.
Okay, normal. You were continually kind of not happy with Jessica, but how did you feel about Jessica that morning?
She was starting to get to the time where she was about to leave, so she kind of started acting shady towards me.
Okay. She was acting lousy towards you. Whose idea was it to get the car window fixed?
Mine.
Your idea, okay. Do you know about when you left the apartment?
I don't.
Okay. And you don't really know? Do you know how long you were gone?
I don't remember how long.
Okay. When you got back home, did Fabian fix the window?
Yes.
Did that make you happy?
Yes.
Had that window been out for a long time?
Yes.
And it's hard when you can't roll up and down your window, is that true?
Yes.
So after the window fixing, do you remember going to people's houses? Do you remember any of that driving around?
I remember going to his brother's house.
Okay, which one?
And his uncle's house.
Okay, in his uncle's house.
Yes.
And just so the jury knows, which brother was it?
I don't remember.
Okay. And do you remember the name of the uncle?
Not really.
Okay. Now, was Fabian drinking at those houses?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And were you drinking there?
No.
No. When did you start drinking?
After when we were leaving his uncle's house.
Okay. So at some point during the day you did drink?
Yes.
Okay. How did it come about that Jessica was going to pick up Victoria at 4 o'clock at the bus stop?
Because we were going to be at his uncle's house late, so I texted her and asked her if she could pick up Victoria from the bus stop.
Did she respond to that text, if you remember?
No, she didn't.
Okay. So did you not know whether she was going to pick her up?
I didn't know she would.
Is that why you texted your mom?
Yes.
And then why did you call your mom off if you did?
Because she later on she answered the phone.
Okay. Oh, Jessica Kelly answered the phone?
Yes.
And you were able to communicate with her?
Yes.
Okay. Did she seem fine on the phone, or did she seem weird?
She seemed fine.
Fine. How did you feel when Jessica failed to pick her up?
I felt ashamed and like she didn't care.
So Jessica Kelly says that she didn't know she was supposed to pick her up, but then Jessica Kelly texts back and said that she would pick her up. So, but again, I mean, more than likely, unbeknownst to Michelle, Jessica Kelly is methed out of her mind, so Jessica Kelly could have easily forgotten, I guess.
After you told Fabian we have to get home, did he drive too fast?
Yes, he did. He was driving like a crazy man.
Okay. Well, you got home quickly.
Yes.
And how was Victoria when you got home?
She was doing her homework on the balcony.
Okay, so she seemed okay?
She seemed okay.
Was she mad at Jessica at that time?
Not that I could recall.
Okay. Would she have told you she's mad, or does she keep things to herself?
She tells me most stuff, but most of the stuff she keeps to herself.
Okay.
Hey, Janice.
Did you confront Jessica?
Yes, I did.
And how did Jessica react?
She just blew me off.
She blew you off. And in hindsight, looking back, was that another red flag?
Yes.
At the time, what did you think? Did you think Jessica was just being Jessica?
I didn't think she was just being Jessica. I just thought, like, I don't know.
Did you want to get in a fight with Jessica?
No.
Definitely not. Okay. Who made the decision to leave Victoria with Jessica the last time when you guys left?
That was me.
That was you. Did Fabian ever make decisions about Victoria?
He made that when he talked me into leaving her with her.
He talked to you?
Yes.
So he took part in that?
Yes, he did.
Okay. But wasn't it your decision to make?
Yes, it was.
Didn't you always make the decisions about Victoria?
Yes.
Okay. And in hindsight, worst decision in life?
Yes.
But at that time, was the neighborhood out?
Yes.
And do you sort of rely on neighbors? And if you don't, say you don't?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And they do look out for it?
They do.
Didn't the neighbor call you to tell you that she walked Jessica home from, Victoria home from the bus stop?
Yes.
Okay. Now to the part where you and Fabian get back to the apartment. And I'm sure knowing what you know now, this part is particularly shameful, huh?
Yes.
What's your recollection of what Jessica did?
I didn't know she did anything until after the fact.
No, right. But, I mean, just what she did when you were sitting. You came back in the car with Fabian, correct?
Yes.
And were you guys having a good time?
Yes.
Yeah. And that feels really bad now, too, right?
Yes.
And you were listening to music. And is it fair to say you weren't paying too much attention?
Yes.
And Jessica, did she come out of the house, the apartment?
Yes, she was holding Victoria in a blanket.
Okay. Do you have any recollection of, you could see any of Victoria's clothing, or do you not remember?
I couldn't see any of her clothes, so it was from her neck up.
Okay. And can you describe the blanket that she was wrapped in?
I can't recall. I don't remember.
You don't remember
No.
what the blanket was?
No.
Okay. Do you remember saying it had footballs and stuff on it?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Let me just have a moment.
I have not ever covered the Watts case. I don't know much about it. Maybe we should cover that one too. She dated him for 3 damn weeks. Yeah, I think Jessica did it. And there's unknown male DNA found on Victoria. I think it came from somebody that Jessica Kelly knew. Honestly.
Does remembering about the footballs give you a little bit more memory about what the blanket was?
No.
Was that a blanket you knew about?
Yes.
Okay, can you describe it a little bit for the jury?
It was a fleece blanket, and it had the footballs on it.
Anything else? Was it a sports blanket? What was it?
I don't remember what else it had on it.
Okay, and do you remember where that blanket usually resided?
In my son's room.
Okay. So was it your son Matthew's blanket?
Yes.
So then, does Jessica return into the house?
Yes.
And did you and Fabian get out of the car at some point and go up into that apartment?
Yes.
And who was ahead of who, if you remember?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you ask Jessica about Victoria at that time?
Yes, I asked her where she was going with my daughter, and she didn't answer me.
Okay. So she didn't answer you. Did you ask where Victoria was then?
She said she put her in her bedroom.
She was in her bedroom. Was the door closed?
Yes.
So Jessica Kelly says that she smacked her in the face with an iron because she was like, you know, if you can't even stand up and protect your child, if I can't even trust you around your own child, how can I trust you to keep your mouth shut and basically protect everything, me and everything that's happened here? And she also says that if she was going to go to jail for homicide, it was going to be for one she committed, not one she didn't, in reference to Victoria. I mean, I don't believe that for a second. I believe she committed the homicide 100%.
At that time, if you can remember, and it's hard because a lot of time has gone by, at that time, what did you think was happening?
I don't know, I thought she was just asleep.
Okay. And when you say she, you mean Victoria was just asleep?
Yes.
When you first came in, did Fabian and Jessica have like a private conversation, if you remember?
Yes.
Okay, where were they?
They were in the living room.
Okay. And right after that conversation, did Fabian go into your daughter's bedroom?
No.
And would you have noticed that?
Yes.
Even in a good mood, you would have noticed
Yes.
that? Okay. And how did Fabian act after that conversation with Jessica? How was he acting?
He was acting kind of distant.
Distant. What, is he angry at you?
No, not at me.
Okay. So you think he was angry at Jessica?
I think he was angry.
Okay.
Hey, Maggie.
Do you have any idea where that angry's from?
No.
Okay. Did he start acting strange towards you, Fabian?
Yes, because he wasn't as close with me as he was before.
He was very close to you before, but ever since Jessica, there's been some friction.
Yes.
And you're still feeling that friction?
Yes.
Okay. Did he help you make supper?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Do you remember when supper happened?
What supper happened?
Yeah, what's the sequence? I know there's a part where you go into the bedroom, but was supper before that, or did you come out later to have supper? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Okay. And for the rest of the night, you did go into the bedroom, right, at some point?
Yes.
Okay. And was Fabian with you then?
Yes.
And did you guys make love then? Was that happening? Did you guys have sex?
I don't recall.
Okay, you don't recall, but that could have happened during that period of time?
Yes.
Okay. Did Fabian that night ever look really upset to you?
No, he just he just looked like regular.
Yeah, okay. And was he ever sweating from exertion, could you tell?
I couldn't tell.
Okay. Did he basically seem his usual self?
No.
In the sense that that friction was still there?
Yes.
And were you paying pretty close attention to Fabian at this time?
I was trying to.
When you were in the bedroom, assuming you were having sex, and you said you don't remember, when you had sex, did you usually close the door so your child wouldn't come in?
Yes.
Okay. And that night, if you remember, did you have the television on?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And do you remember ever hearing the other television on in the
Yes.
bedroom? You do?
Yes.
Was it kind of loud?
Yes, it was.
Did you guys ask Jessica to turn it down?
No.
Okay. And after you went into the bedroom, did you just stay in the bedroom or did you ever come out again?
No, I stayed in the bedroom.
Okay. Although there were some cigarette breaks, right?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm not sure whether there were 1 or 2 cigarettes that you remember. Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Okay. But at some point you came out, and that must have been, was it fairly late when you came out for that cigarette break?
I don't remember the exact time.
Okay. Was it before you went to sleep? Was it after sex? That kind of thing?
It was before I went to bed, I know that.
Okay, so it was before you went to bed. And so you would go to the balcony to smoke, right?
Yes.
And did Fabian come with you?
Not that I could recall.
Okay. Was Jessica out there smoking?
No.
No. Did she come join you on the balcony?
No.
Okay, so you smoked by yourself?
Yes.
And when you went back into the bedroom, was Fabian still in the bed?
No, he was in the living room with Jessica.
He was in the living room with Jessica. Did he ever come back to bed?
Yes, he did.
Okay. So when you were getting ready to go to sleep, did you turn your TV off?
Yes.
Okay. And how did you go to sleep? Was Fabian with you when you went to sleep?
Yes, he was in the bedroom.
Okay. And how did you fall asleep? Were you entangled, or were you on your side of the bed and he's on his side?
I fell asleep on his lap.
On his lap. Okay. Now, would you have woken up if he got up, or would you have?
I would have.
You would have?
I would have.
Okay. When you went out for the cigarette on the balcony, you would pass through the living room to get to the balcony. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And were the lights on in the living room?
No.
They were off?
Yes.
So could you not see very well in the living room because it's at night and you've been in another room?
I saw pretty well.
Okay. So did you see your orange laundry basket in the middle of the room at that time?
No.
Okay. And was the television still on in that room, the living room?
Yes.
It was?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to listen to get to see, how the stories contradict each other, and what we can gather from this, like, now that they've all been sentenced to their time or whatever, all except for Fabian. I want to know if we get any different stories. So that's kind of why we're still going over this. But I do believe today will be the last day, unless I find out that Fabian did testify. Then we'll watch that another day. Cara just gifted 10 Speculation Station memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that. Let me see if I can. Okay. Sorry, I know that was loud. Those went to JoJo, Aggie, Cheech Brown, Barbie CP, Princess 64, Healing Out Loud, JDR, Ida Monjito, Joseph Martinez, and Michelle. If you were gifted from Cara and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Cara thank you, and I will grab the Polar Express and pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so very much, Cara. That was so sweet of you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so very much, Cara. That was so sweet and amazing of you. I really appreciate that. Y'all, I just checked my email and I got the first body cam footage from Letitia just now from 3 different officers or whatever. It's a download, and so hopefully I'll have that out soon. It's from Deputy Donna Hughes body cam 1, Deputy Donna Hughes body cam 2, and Sergeant Youngkin's body cam. So this is going to be the initial call. Yep, Lapisha. So I'm going to work on getting that stuff out. Hey, Barbie, good to see you. Have your tickets ready, said Abraham. Lapisha is shit. No, Letitia Stout from the Gannon Stout case. So now I need to see about getting the second one. I want to get the ones that, there's a couple specific ones I want to get. So I'm going to work my way into getting all of them. So I'll work on getting that out. I'm downloading it now.
me ask you about the bathrooms. Your house has two kind of master baths, I mean, full baths?
Yes.
Okay. So you have a full bathroom off your bedroom, is that?
Off of my bedroom, and then the other one was a half bath.
Okay. And that night, did you use your bathroom?
Yes.
Off the master?
Yes.
Okay. And did Fabian use your bathroom off the master?
Yes.
And did you ever hear the shower running in your bathroom?
No.
Now, when you had the interview with all the lawyers, which was the earlier interview, do you remember talking about your dryer?
Vaguely.
Okay. And do you remember saying the buzzer was really loud?
Yes.
Okay. And could you hear that buzzer anywhere in the house when you were doing laundry?
Yes.
So it helped you know when your cycle was done and you could keep working?
Yes.
You could multitask?
Yes.
Do you ever remember the buzzer going off that night?
I don't recall.
Okay. That wouldn't have been loud enough to wake you up,
No.
but it might have been loud enough if you were awake?
Yes.
Now, your fight with Jessica, did it go on for a long time? And how was she hurting? How is it happening?
Okay, so after she hit me with the iron, I went to get up and go into my daughter's bedroom because I was going to take her and I was going to jump from the window. And when I got up, she hit me again with the iron in the back of my head.
Okay.
And as I was making my way to my daughter's room, she kept beating me up. She pulled my hair, she threw me to the floor. She was just beating me up like...
And could you see very much at that time?
No, because I was dizzy from losing all the blood.
Okay. And do you have a condition that causes that blood? I mean, does that make you like even more dizzy?
Yes.
And as you were struggling, your goal was to get into your daughter's room?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you do when you got into your daughter's room?
I shut the door and I locked it so that way she would stop beating me up because I was going to jump from the window and have my daughter jump in my arms to get away from her.
Okay. So you were ready to make the escape with your daughter?
Yes.
Was there light in that room at all?
There's a nightlight.
So there's a nightlight. She's going in the room to try to get Victoria, and they're both going to jump from the apartment. And she thinks she can catch Victoria jumping out the window, and she's not going to hurt herself jumping out the window. I mean, it's good to hear that she did attempt to go back in there, but from what I understand, they left Victoria behind and ran. She's saying, I mean, to be fair, Fabian ran and was shouting for her to come, and he just, like, didn't even try to get Victoria. I do know that Michelle was a little bit after Fabian, so maybe she did go in the room and try to get her. Yeah, I don't know. I was really upset about her leaving Victoria behind.
Nightlight. So there was a little bit of light?
Yes.
Okay. And in that little bit of light, did you look everywhere for your daughter in the room?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did you check the closet? Because kids sometimes hide in the closet.
Yes, I did.
Sorry?
Yes, I did.
You did. Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked as States Exhibit 170. And it's already been in evidence. I hope I can get that. Maybe if I turn it this, that'll make you dizzy, but you can see the hole at the bottom and the top. Do you recognize that at all?
That's her closet.
Okay, that's the closet in her room.
Yes.
Is there anything amiss in that picture?
Yes, all her clothes.
And when you say all her clothes, you're talking about the clothes in the hangers or the clothes on the floor?
The clothes on the hangers.
Okay. So were there usually a lot of clothes hanging on the on the hangers in that closet?
Yes, because I would put her pants in there, and then some shirts, and then the rest I would put in the drawers.
Hey CPPWV, thank you for being here. Yeah, this case is insane. It's insane. We're watching the trial now. The trial took place in July of 2022. Oh my goodness, really? That case is so sad. I haven't, I mean, I kept track of it, but this will be my first time looking at all the body cams when I get it out for us. Um, Catherine says Victoria was already in the bathtub being burned when the cops came and she jumped. That was Jessica. So Fabian and Michelle run out of the apartment and try to and call 911. But Victoria would have been in the bathtub and decapitated. Now, whether or not Michelle knew that her daughter was dead and decapitated is kind of up in the air. Um, so I don't know. Sorry, I was doing something on my phone. So I don't know. It, I, it didn't seem like she went back for Victoria, but she's saying she did. I don't know. I know she was behind Fabian when they ran to the neighbor's house. It seems to me like Fabian not even trying to get Victoria, he would have known that she was already dead, so therefore maybe he did help in the decapitation and etc. I don't know. This case, I mean, even after watching all the interrogations and with all the information we have, this case is still really, I mean, there's a lot of questions still left to be answered to this day.
Okay. Now, I know this is a stretch, but when you looked in the closet that night, did you notice any of this?
I didn't.
Okay.
Okay, so hey now, you took it down too fast. Let's look at the
A
picture.
miss in that picture?
Yes, all her clothes.
And when you say all her clothes, you're talking about the clothes in the hangers or the clothes on the floor?
The clothes on the hangers.
Okay. So were there usually a lot of clothes hanging on the on the hangers in that closet?
Yes, because I would put her pants in there, and then some shirts, and then the rest I would put in the drawers.
Okay. Now, I know this is a stretch, but when you looked in the closet that night, did you notice any of this?
I didn't.
Okay.
So what's amiss is that all of her clothes are on the floor. I guess. I guess that's what the problem is. All of her clothes are on the floor.
Thank you. And I know it's
Veronica, we went over the autopsy report a few minutes ago. I'm going to put it on my Patreon. It was manual strangulation, and she had a lot of rectal trauma. Oh, Abraham said, did they confirm she was decapitated? Yeah, they did. The autopsy report said that a lobe of her liver, her sternum, and something else had been removed, and they came separately in a separate bag to the medical examiner's office.
a stupid question at this time, but was your daughter in the room?
No, she was not.
Okay. So what did you do next?
So I opened the door and I asked Jessica, I said, where the fuck is my daughter? I told her, exact words.
Okay.
And she still didn't answer me. She started beating me up again. She started pulling my hair. She started beating me up, kicking me. And as she's doing that, I'm making my way out of the apartment. And right by the door, I had a picture frame, and she hit me with the picture frame. And I eventually made my way out the door, and I squashed her hand in the door, and she let go of my hair, and then she said, by the way, your daughter's dead.
And when she said that to you, how did she say it? Was she loud? Was she...
She was low.
She was low? And if you said earlier that she was vague, what did you mean by that?
She was what?
Vague? What did you mean by that?
And she wasn't good.
Okay.
Hey, Lori.
But vague sounds like she wasn't definitive.
Hey, Chilling.
Did you sense that it was true, or did you sense it was untrue?
I'm sorry, repeat that one more time?
Sure. When she says your daughter's dead, was she saying that as a strong statement to you, or was it weirder than that?
It was even weirder because I heard it vaguely in my ear because I was dripping blood and I was still dizzy, so I heard it very, very mellow.
Okay. And Did you believe it when she said it?
I did not.
I do want to go back to something earlier. As I understood the sequence when Jessica first attacked you, she's attacking you in your room.
Yes.
Did she ever tell you at that time that your daughter was dead?
No.
And during this fight, were you really looking around? Did you know where Fabian was?
No, I saw him at first when she first did it, and then after that I didn't see him.
And was he ever helping you, or was he helping Jessica beat you up?
I couldn't recall what he was doing because she was too busy hitting me, and I was dripping blood, so I didn't really.
Did he appear to be helping you? Did he try to pull Jessica off? Do you remember?
I remember he tried to pull her off.
Okay, he tried to clean it up?
Yes, and then she went and hit him.
Okay. And is that the time he had decided he had to get out of the house?
Yes, but I didn't know he had left at that time.
You didn't know, okay. Do you remember a pause in the fight, or do you think the pause might have been when you were in the room with the door locked?
No, the pause was when I was in the room.
Okay. So now you've gotten outside, you've heard what she said, and I know you said this already, but the exact words would be helpful. Do you remember the exact words she said to you?
She said, "By the way, your daughter's dead."
By the way?
Yes.
And did you think about going back into the apartment?
No.
And when you got outside, where's Fabian? Did you see him?
I didn't see him at first, and I was looking for him, and eventually I went to go knock on my friend's door, and I heard him say, "Michelle, I'm over here," and he was on the phone with the neighbors with the cops.
Okay. And did you tell Fabian what Jessica said?
Yes, I did.
And without saying any words that he said, did you feel like he believed it?
No.
When did you first know that Fabian was dead?
That Fabian was what?
When did you first, I mean, I'm so sorry. We do this, we just mix up words. When did you first know that your daughter was dead, that Victoria was dead?
When I got into the jail.
Okay.
That's when it snapped, because I was too out of it from being hit in the head. So I was in shock.
And I was going to ask you about that. Do you remember a neighbor?
I mean, we saw the picture yesterday of her with the blood all over her face, and she looks like she's in shock. Like there's something going on there. I don't know if it's substances or what, but that picture is absolutely insane looking.
Asking you about where are your kids? Where are your kids?
I don't.
Okay. And do you remember asking about your phone to Fabian?
No.
And do you remember his responses to you?
No.
Would it surprise you that you asked maybe 2 or 3 times, according to witnesses?
That I have to repeat that?
That you asked 2 or 3 times for your phone? Would that surprise you?
No.
Okay. And when the police arrived, do you remember what you said to them?
I told them that she had killed my daughter.
Okay. So you told them that your daughter was inside and that and that Jessica Kelly told you that she was dead?
Yes.
And did you also talk to them about, when they asked, did you also say that the only people in the house are just her and the baby?
Yes.
You were saying that?
Yes.
think you said you were in shock. What kind of shape were you in at that time?
I was all dizzy. I was lightheaded.
Did you request medical attention?
No, the ambulance came.
Okay, so someone checked you out?
Yes.
Did you ask to go to the hospital, or did they tell you?
They just took me to the hospital. They asked me which hospital I wanted to go to.
Now, I'm going to show you what's marked Defendant's Exhibit T. Do you recognize that photo?
Yes.
And who's in the photo?
Me.
Okay. And can you tell where you are in that photo?
I'm in the hospital.
Okay. I'd like to have Exhibit T admitted into evidence.
Any objection? No objection. He will be admitted and you may publish.
Thank you.
Go ahead and fill that ask over the notice, please.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, keep slipping. So I'm guessing you didn't have a mirror in the hospital, right?
No.
But do you think that kind of accurately reflects kind of what happened to you?
Yes.
Yeah, look at her. Like, even there, I don't know, she's in the hospital bed. It's not as bad as the other picture, but you can tell that she's in shock. Like, I don't think I can zoom in any. I wish I could. There will be some background noise. I'm trying to screen record a body cam so I can get it out for y'all, but she looks like she's in shock there, like her eyes and everything. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's just because she looks scary in that picture. I don't know. What do you guys think? You'll have to let me know.
And looks like you're sitting up with an IV in your arm. You're okay?
Yes.
Did they take your blood there? Do you know?
I don't remember.
Mercedes, you got a point. Mercedes said she was in so much shock that she could only eat one taco and have relations with her boyfriend. That's quite the iron shot. Kathy said, I can only imagine she sprinkled some pepper in her face mask to help with those big old alligator tears. You think so? You think so? Joy appreciates the photos of her like that. Kathleen said, yeah, she does look like she's in shock. Interesting. Thank you guys for sharing.
Okay. How many stitches did you have?
I had 14.
She had 14 stitches. Abella said, oh, that would shock you just getting your face bashed in. Goodness gracious. Bap has got no love for this woman at all. Bap says she looks like a dipshit. Kara said that you'll find the word sympathy in the dictionary between shit and syphilis. So, you know, that's how a lot of people are feeling in this moment.
Roberts?
Yes, I have relevance.
Okay, come on.
I'm here.
Hey, Stephanie. So we're going to approach the bench again. On a relevance. What is the relevance to how many stitches she got? Why is that important? Oh, that damn white noise. Still quiet. Okay, hold on. All right, they're about to come back now. That's an insult to dipshits, said Tom.
So how many stitches do you think you had?
Damn.
I had 14 altogether.
So no, CPPWB, no, she said that she looked for her in the room where a nightlight was on, but that she didn't see her and then left.
Do you think that your memory today of the fight and how it happened, considering what shape you were in, could be a little bit mixed up? Do you think it could have lasted longer than you remember?
It could have.
And when you went into your child's bedroom, were you thinking only of yourself, or were you thinking of Victoria?
No, I was thinking of Victoria too, because I was going to have her jump with me.
Did you knowingly put your daughter in any danger?
No.
Throughout these events, did you ever stop loving your daughter?
Not at all.
And do you love her now every bit as much as you did 10 years ago from the first day she was born?
I do.
No further questions. I pass to you.
So that was the prosecution.
Thank you.
That was the prosecution. I think it's going to the defense now. Hopefully it won't be Mr. Bueller questioning her. She looks like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. Do we need a comparison? I think we do. Let's pull up a comparison. Okay, so we got that. There's Gollum. Gollum, keep that in mind. And here's Michelle. Gollum and Michelle. Yeah. I could see it. I could see it for sure. Who's dissing Gollum? Cara and Abellis. I think it's going to be a female this time. Hopefully. Linda said he's cuter.
Good morning. I'm just going to ask you some questions, kind of just follow up on what Mr. Dangler asked you. We've seen a picture, you had a pretty bloody cut to your head, but you didn't have a concussion, right?
Yes.
You did not have a concussion?
That's right.
The night of Victoria's murder, were you afraid of the defendant?
Yes.
Were you afraid of Jessica Kelly?
Yes.
Why were you afraid of them?
Because I thought she was going to kill me too.
Why were you afraid of the defendant?
Because she was very violent.
What about this defendant on the screen? Fabian.
He wasn't in the house, but I was afraid of him too.
Do you remember giving an interview to Dr. Wellner? Oh, you were afraid of him too, but why?
Yes. Because his attitude.
Because what?
Because of his attitude, he was very raged.
And you've described that rage as out of proportion, correct?
Yes.
And
I do believe this is the defense. It could be the prosecution. I'm pretty sure the prosecution questioned her first, and this would be the defense. I do believe.
were you afraid at any point that he might cause harm to you?
I did.
Were you afraid he might shoot you?
Yes.
Were you afraid if you kicked him out that it might come to something like that?
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about sort of the events leading up to Victoria's murder and just what was going on. You hid the defendant from your parents.
Yes, I did.
And you hid Jessica from them.
Yes.
And in fact, there was more than one time when they had to hide in bathrooms when your mom came by.
Yes.
But your parents knew about previous boyfriends like David and
Yes.
Jay. So there was something different about this defendant that you thought you needed to hide from them?
Yes.
This defendant moved into your house pretty quickly after you guys first started dating.
Yes.
And he started using your car
Yes.
almost every day?
Yes.
So how would that work? You would go to work, and how would you have your car?
He would take me to work and he would have my car from the time I'm at work to the time I got off.
Do you know where you went?
I don't.
You talked a little bit about the defendant and Victoria and how they got along. You described them before as close, is that fair?
Yes.
And he even bought her a cat.
Yes.
And we saw a picture of a note that she wrote, maybe to him. Do you know where that note was found?
No, I don't.
Tell me about the trunk of your car. What kind of stuff did you keep in the trunk of your car?
I kept like jumper cables, coats, stuff like that.
Do Do you know how that note would end up in the trunk of your car?
I don't.
So it wasn't something that the defendant had on the nightstand that he was cherishing if it was in the trunk of your car. Is that fair?
That's fair.
You told us today that Victoria typically took a shower every other night.
Yes.
Do you remember saying to Dr. Wellner that she took a shower every night?
No.
You don't? Do you know which one it is?
Every other night.
There was a little bit of questioning about your previous boyfriend, David, and you said you made a pass at Victoria and you kicked him out.
Yes.
And after that is when you became pretty vigilant about who was going to be around your kids, right?
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about the pass that you made at Victoria. You did that in her room, correct?
Yes.
And he did that at night, correct?
Yes.
And you didn't know that he was in Victoria's room at night.
I didn't.
Be careful driving, stolen spirits, and I'm glad you found the speculating family. I'm glad all of y'all found the speculating family, and yeah, we all like to hang out and discuss stories in our lives, new stuff, old stuff, stuff like that. I appreciate y'all being here. Hey, Carolina, good to see you, my love. Like tomorrow, we'll be discussing the two children missing in Nova Scotia, Lily and Jack. Bellis and Mercedes, if y'all want to come up tomorrow, you can as well. I'm going to share some of the stuff y'all sent me, and I will probably have an open panel. We're going to go back over the information we have so far and see what we think and, talk about things because the Canadian the RCMP don't like to give out information from what I understand. So we're going to talk about it and talk about theories and what could have happened and things like that. So that'll be tomorrow.
Possibly did that while you were sleeping?
Yes.
Can you testify that you were sort of still in that vigilant state when the defendant came into your life about protecting your kids? Is that fair?
Yes.
Because you wanted to avoid that type of situation again?
Yes.
So he moves in after 1 week. He didn't have a job, correct?
Correct.
And he was smoking marijuana in your house, correct?
Yes.
And he asked you to do a line.
Yes.
How familiar are you with methamphetamine?
Not familiar at all.
Have you ever done it?
No, I have not.
So when he said a line, you assumed it was cocaine?
Yes.
Did you know for sure?
I didn't.
I'm going to show you stage 405. Do you recognize this picture?
That's my bathroom. That's my bathroom.
Do you know how this drug pipe got on your windowsill?
No, I do not.
Oh, no. Why do y'all move the picture so quick? I need y'all to stop it. Okay, 134.40. Let's go back to 16.
So when he said
I
a
want to
line,
see
you
it.
assumed it was cocaine?
Yes.
Did you know for sure?
Let me give a trigger warning to all my fellow people that have used substances and gotten over it. This will be triggering. I never used a pipe, but anybody that has, just be careful because you're about to see one. I apologize for that.
Sure.
I didn't.
I'm going to show you stage 405. Do you recognize this picture?
That's my bathroom. That's my bathroom.
Do you know how this drug pipe
Trigger warning.
got on your windowsill?
No, I do not.
Dang it. Looked like a glass pipe to me. Lordy have mercy.
So when he said a line, you assumed it was cocaine?
Yes.
Did you know for sure?
I didn't.
I'm going to show you stage 405. Do you recognize this picture?
I wish I
my
could zoom
bathroom.
in.
That's my bathroom.
Do you know how this drug pipe got on your windowsill?
I mean, you can't really tell, but it looks like a glass pipe. They used to sell little roses in them. Be safe, Cara. My love. My blood, yeah, AB negative blood is like some kind of alien thing or something from what I've heard. Yeah, so he's gonna ask, do you want a line, but you don't know what it is. And she says cocaine, but like you didn't know it was meth. I don't believe that. I mean, again, she is of cognitive disabilities, but like I don't know if I believe that. You thought it was cocaine. I think you knew what it was. Because I don't understand why he would say, do you want a line? And you don't do that stuff and you don't know what it is. Like I don't know. The person I'm with, if I was using back in the day, they knew that I was using and what I was using. And if I asked them if they wanted some, They knew what it was. Hey, Cracker, thank God I'm not in that lifestyle anymore. And thank God those of you who have gotten out of it are out of it. And if you're still in that lifestyle, there is help out there.
No, I do not.
So you testified on direct that if you saw the defendant in Victoria's room, you would have been really alarmed because of this previous situation.
Yes.
But on the day of her homicide, he took her alone into a bathroom, correct?
Yes, he did.
And he didn't tell you why?
He didn't tell me why.
And you weren't in there?
No.
And he was talking to Victoria?
Yes.
And when they came out, Victoria had some money?
Yes.
And that was confusing to you?
Yes.
And then without your permission, he took her to the gas station, correct?
Yes.
In your car?
Yes.
Let's talk about relying on the neighbors quickly. You said that you relied on the neighbors, you guys watch each other's kids, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Did you just ever leave Victoria in the parking lot and assume that neighbors would just watch her?
Oh, no.
So if you were relying on the neighbors, you would talk to them, get them to babysit, ask them if Victoria could come over?
Yes.
This wasn't an apartment complex where you just let Victoria run free without watching her, making sure someone was watching her?
Correct.
So when Jessica Kelly moved in, you knew that she was just out of prison?
Yes.
You didn't know what she was in prison for?
I didn't.
And she and the defendant started doing drugs in your house?
Yes.
Did you get any rent money from her?
No.
Did you know she was paying rent to stay at your house?
No.
The day of the homicide, when you were driving around with the defendants, you testified on cross that you asked Jessica via text to pick up Victoria, is that right?
Yes.
But she didn't answer, so you called her.
Yes.
If your phone records do not show any such call, how do you explain that?
I don't know.
Are you sure that you called her?
I'm not sure.
Ooh.
And at some point, you were maybe going to have your mom pick up Victoria.
Yes.
Without getting a response from Jessica, you called her up.
Yes.
Were you worried about your mom going over there and seeing Jessica since you couldn't get hold of her?
Yes.
So you testified that you asked Jessica to pick up Victoria from the bus stop, and she didn't answer the first time, but then so she didn't answer, so you call your mom and ask your mom to pick Victoria up from the bus stop, but then you call your mom back and say that Jessica, or you say you don't need her anymore because from what you say, you called Jessica back and she said she would get Victoria. However, Jessica says she didn't know she was supposed to pick up Victoria and that she saw her playing outside on the scooter by herself. And now your testimony is that there's a possibility that you never spoke to Jessica and you were scared of your mom seeing Jessica. So you, called her back and lied to her, saying you had it under control, all because you didn't want your mom to see Jessica, therefore putting Victoria in danger by just leaving her outside because you hadn't verified that you had somebody to pick her up, all because you didn't want your mom to see Jessica at your house? Wow. Yeah. Shitty, poor excuse for a mother.
That morning, before you left to go on these errands with the defendant, how was Jessica acting?
She was acting good.
She was
Fine.
acting good?
Yeah.
You don't remember her in your bedroom with the defendant reading her religious books and talking about God and sinner and all that in the morning?
No.
Is that maybe when you were taking the kids to the bus stop and making cupcakes?
Yes.
But when you first left, after Victoria's at school, and you made one of those first trips, you actually were worried about Jessica alone in your house because you texted Pauline, correct?
Yes. Yes.
You wanted Colleen to go over and knock on your door and pretend that she was your aunt?
Yes.
Because you were worried, you didn't know what Jessica was up to in there.
Yes.
So something was going on that made you concerned.
Yes.
Ooh. So there's a possibility that you knew Jessica was geeked out of her mind and zooted, and you were having Colleen go check on Jessica in your apartment because you were concerned because she was zooted. Because you knew she was on substances, in my opinion.
You testified that when it was clear that Victoria didn't get picked up from the bus stop because you started getting texts from your neighbor, Amanda Wilson, that Fabian drove her like crazy back home.
Yes.
Do you remember talking to us in December on a Google Meet for an interview?
No.
In December 18th of 2021, we all met for a quick follow-up.
Oh, yes.
Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
And in that interview, you said he was taking his time and you were getting frustrated with him. Do you recall that?
Well, he was taking his time at his uncle's house, but once he got into the car, that's when he started driving erratically and fast and...
So he wouldn't leave right away?
No.
Were you trying to get him to leave?
Yes.
And when you get home, you're in the apartment about an hour when Jessica's there?
Yes.
Before you leave again?
Yes.
And did you notice anything about her then?
No.
In the evening, when we've talked a little bit, we're kind of skipping around, but when the defendant took your daughter to the giant gas station, you stayed home with Jessica?
Yes.
Did you see her then?
I seen her.
And how did you think she was at that
She was friendly.
That she was friendly?
Yes.
Was she saying weird things?
No, not at that
She
time.
wasn't talking about God or sinners?
No.
Do you remember her taking a call from her sister at about 6 o'clock?
Yes.
And did you hear that call?
I didn't hear the full call.
But to you, she seemed okay?
Yes.
When you went with the defendant to his brother's houses, you weren't allowed inside those houses, right?
Correct.
And when the defendant came out of one of those houses, you smelled something on him, right?
Yes.
And tell us about his reaction to mentioning that.
He got mad and he started driving really fast. I thought we were going to die.
Did he say anything?
He was like, how dare you accuse me of having weed?
But did you die? Sorry, I had to do it.
Did he threaten you?
He didn't threaten me, no. He was just like, don't ever say that again.
Did he say anything about talking about drug dealers?
No.
And you guys get back, and then you leave again, almost immediately. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you didn't go in and check on Victoria?
No.
And you'd actually bought some cigarettes for Jessica and just kind of dropped them off?
Wait a minute. I didn't get that she was home with Jessica. From what I understand so far, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, because I could have misunderstood, that she was with Fabian at Fabian's uncle's house, and then she was waiting for Fabian to come out. He was taking a really long time. She was getting frustrated, and then when they leave, he's driving erratically all over the road, and she's like scared that he was gonna kill them, and then they get back home. Hey horse, good to see you. Weed, what about the line, right? That's what I got so far. I'll take it back about a minute.
And how did you think she was?
She was friendly.
That she was friendly?
Yes.
Was she saying weird things?
No, not at that
She
time.
wasn't talking about God or sinners?
No.
Do you remember her taking a call from her sister at about...
So at this point, she's with Jessica. Jenny says, I think she was present when Jessica's sister called her, but she didn't hear the full conversation. Yeah, I think that's what she's saying right now. She was there when she took the call from Crystal talking about Sinner. Hey, Cricket. Had my notification set to tell me about the lab, and of course it didn't make big mad about it. You big mad? Big mad? Hey, good to see you. Thank you for being here, Cricket. Lori said, poor babies, her daughter is deceased and who knows what happened to her son. This is why you don't allow strangers around your children. Exactly right. Yeah, make that make sense. Jenny said this part. Okay, I'm going to play it.
6 o'clock?
Yes.
And did you hear that call?
I I didn't hear the full call.
But to you, she seemed okay?
Yes.
When you went with the defendant to his brother's houses, you weren't allowed inside those houses, right?
Correct.
And when the defendant came out of one of those houses, you smelled something on him, right?
Yes.
And tell us about his reaction to you mentioning that.
He got mad and he started driving really fast. I thought we were going to die.
Did he say anything?
He's like, how dare you accuse me of having weed?
Did he threaten you?
He didn't threaten me, no. He was just like, don't ever say that again.
Did he say anything about talking about drug dealers?
No.
And you guys get back, and then you leave again, almost immediately. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you didn't go in and check on Victoria?
No.
And you had actually bought some cigarettes for Jessica and just kind of dropped them off?
Yes.
You leave again. Do you have a difficult time, or did you have a difficult time telling the defendant no?
Yes.
Oh,
And
you're right. Jessica did say that she was alone with Victoria when she was talking to her sister, but she wasn't. Michelle was there. Good catch, Jenny Jen. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Jessica testified that she was alone with Victoria when her sister called, and she wasn't. Great catch, Jenny. Cricket said, I've been watching y'all. Now my new favorite channel. Aw. Well, thank you. And thank you for being part of our speculating family. You're so sweet. I'm glad you found us. So yeah, this is her car that he's driving erratically and about to kill them. Tyron said, totally off topic, I have a brand new kitten. Her name is Cricket. That is so adorable and that is so sweet. I love that. I'm so happy for you. The math ain't mathin'. You're absolutely right. She has a lisp that makes her sound less sharp than she actually is, in my honest opinion. I'm not convinced on her having severe intellectual disability. I get that. A lot of people aren't. Oh yeah, a lot of times notifications don't work. We are live at 1:30 Eastern every day, Monday through Saturday. Needing some tissues.
you described him being in a rage on the day of the homicide. Do you remember that?
No.
And you described Jessica as being creepy and scaring you on the day of the homicide. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Were you afraid of the defendant's brothers?
No, because I never met them.
Was there talk about guns and the defendant's brothers having a lot of guns?
Yes.
And did you have a specific concern about that?
Yes.
What was that?
That he, like, if I were just to tell him to go, that he would have his family come back and shoot up my house.
So the things he said about his brothers made you afraid of them?
Yes.
So, Cricket, I have a news clip that I play a couple of times a day usually, and they talk about Michelle Martin's interrogation and why she admitted to things that evidently didn't happen, and they talk about her drug use, her trauma, and her the police leading her with the questions they were asking. Jessica Kelly references her low IQ, and I think it's referenced in a press conference, although I can't say for sure because I personally have not verified that yet or haven't been able to find it. But supposedly her low IQ is part of why she said the things that she said in her testimony. Yep. Thanks, y'all. You're from West Virginia, where everyone has a nickname. That's cool. My son's dad is from West Virginia.
You didn't know that Jessica Kelly had a man
And my son goes up there a lot. His Gammy lives up there.
over to your house and had sex on your couch in the middle of the night a couple nights before Victoria's murder, did you?
No, I did not.
And did you know that was a night that your son and Victoria were home in your rooms?
No, I did not.
The night that you took Victoria out, I think it was described by Mr. Dingler as maybe an adventure. This was a school night, right?
Yes.
And you guys were out until around 2 a.m.
Yes.
Were you allowed to go into any of the places that were stopped off at?
No.
You stayed in the car?
Yes.
With Victoria?
Whoa, they were out until 2 a.m.? I had no idea that they were out that late. I thought they got home at like 6 o'clock. They were out until 2 a.m. Wow.
Yes.
And the next morning at 6 a.m., you took Victoria back to pick up Jessica?
Yes.
And that was before Victoria went to school?
Yes.
Real quick, I know I keep pausing it, but Cricket said, she said, I was a people pleaser, but gosh dang, I would never say the things she said about my child's death. Make it make sense. Who, I don't know who would say things like that. Like it came from some damn where. Then police weren't asking her questions specifically about all of the things that she admitted to. Yes, some of it was leading, but some of that shit she came up with. Like, where did that come from? I don't get it. Like, some of that, I mean, I don't know. That shit wasn't all the police and severe trauma and drug use. Like that there's some truth to it. Because again, Victoria had been assaulted for an extended period of time and she was assaulted on the day she was dismembered. Who the hell is assaulting this child? If the one time you saw something suspicious, you called CPS and CPS did not investigate it, by the way. But you got rid of old David Hernandez. Please make that make sense.
Would you say during that time you were in withdrawn judgment? You didn't know that the defendant was talking to other women online the night of the homicide, did you?
No, I didn't.
Did you know he tried to get someone to come pick him up at about 10:30?
No.
When we talk about just...
So Fabian was talking to other girls and also, having other girls come pick him up and shit. Like, sounds like he was 100% just using her for a place to stay. But again, I mean, if he's using her just for a place to stay, how did he pick up on her cognitive disability so quick? How did he know, oh, I can use the hell out of this woman and just go live there for free and then talk to other women and she won't even know? I don't get it. Like, how do we all know that she's not cognitively all there? I wish I could see the Plenty of Fish profile that she had to see if maybe I could figure it out. Tom says, surrounding yourself around people like the ones in this case is a recipe for disaster. And if that ain't the truth, I don't know what is. We need a bing bop for that. So again, Tom says, surrounding yourself with people like this, like the ones in this case, is a recipe for disaster. Absolutely. Please. Like, if you see some shit going on, like questionable things, get out of that situation. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Like you got damn gasoline draws on. Get out. Get out. Cricket said, but I do have to see DOC be feeding inmates hella good out there. Right, yeah. A lot of starches to keep them from getting hungry. A lot of people gain weight in jail.
Jessica Kelly, you knew she was paranoid.
Yes.
And she was talking to herself.
Yes.
And she was saying people were coming to get her.
Yes.
And she kept saying that over and over.
Yes.
And she was pacing around.
Yes.
And you testified earlier that the defendant convinced you that it was okay to leave your daughter with this person?
Yes.
Now, as far as the understanding of how long she was going to stay, your understanding was a week.
Yes.
But you didn't know there was a rent agreement in place between her and the defendant, did you?
No, I did not.
And when you told the defendant, or when you made the decision that you wanted her out, you didn't actually communicate that to her, correct? The
Correct.
defendant did.
Yes.
So you never had a conversation with Jessica about you need to leave at this time. You let the defendant do that.
Yes.
The night that Victoria was killed, Your phone went off of the Wi-Fi at 11:05 and presumably outside into the apartment complex parking lot. Was that you?
No.
Do you know that neighbors heard the defendant and Jessica on your balcony at about 1 or 1:30 in the morning?
No, I did not.
And does it surprise you that the defendant was back on his phone around 3:40 in the morning?
Yes.
And your phone again went off of your Wi-Fi about 4:07 in the morning, which is, I believe, about 30 minutes before the police were called. Can you explain that?
I don't know.
Did the defendant sometimes use your phone?
Sometimes.
Do you know that his phone went off the Wi-Fi that night between 11:15 and up to 11:59 p.m.?
No, I did not know that.
And you said before that you don't know if the defendant was with you the entire night, correct?
Correct.
So you went to sleep at midnight and woke up when the fight started?
Yes.
You don't know what he was doing in between?
I don't.
You took a plea in this case? We talked about that on direct?
Yes.
And when you took that plea, you were aware that there was a fourth person identified in this case, correct?
Yes.
Do you have a moment here? Yeah.
I can't tell what's a lie and what's the truth around here. All right, so we take a long minute. Is that all? Oh, yeah, that's all for today.
No further questions or?
Oh.
Redirect.
Okay, we do redirect. But it's not long. She did, Cricket. Good point. Jessica did say in her testimony that she had taken their phones and she had them in her purse. Interesting. Right? When she opens her mouth, it's a lie. It is so confusing, Joy. Like, will we ever know what really happened to this baby? The ones lying are wearing orange, right? Oh, you called the Discord that because why not? You caught what I was thinking. Yep, you did. I'll drop the Discord link for y'all if y'all want to come hang out. We chat in Discord. I try to be there when I can. I've been so busy lately, but I'm going to grab the link and drop it. My Discord is open to anyone who wants to come hang out and talk.
On the cross-examination, you were asked about a trip to Giant that happened.
Yes.
Okay. And I think the way you were asked was without your permission, Fabian took her to the Giant, and you said yes. Do you remember if you gave permission or not?
Yes, I did.
You did give
Yes.
permission?
Yes.
Okay. And did you also time that trip to make sure he wasn't alone with her very long?
Yes, I did.
How long was the trip about?
It was about 5 minutes there and 5 minutes back.
Okay. And you were timing it?
Yes.
No further questions, Judge.
May this witness be excused?
Yes?
All right, thank you. We'll take a short break for the jury.
Okay, so Michelle Martins is excused. Let's see if Fabian testified. Oh. Might help if I put Fabian Gonzales. We got Michelle Martins. Let me see. Let me ask Google. We're waiting. Okay. The trial saw Gonzalez's brother testify as well as key witnesses from the day 10-year-old Victoria was homicided. All right, so I don't want to go yet. Let's see if we can find something interesting. I want to see if Jessica's sister testifies. Closing arguments, verdict read. Oh, it don't give me any idea. Doesn't have anything in the description. Is Jessica Kelly back up? Oh, we probably watched that one. Yeah, we did. Let's see. That's going to be an officer. That's probably the cell phone data. There's some pictures. Oh, let's look at the pictures and hear what he has to say about those.
And it says, guys, I need my car back here.
Oh, hold on. Okay. So we'll listen to him talk about text messages and look at the pictures before we go today. They're looking at a map that's going to show cell phone data. I'm wondering who took Victoria.
Then you see by 5:04 p.m.
Right.
By 5:05 really exactly is when Michelle Martin's device arrives at the apartment.
Okay, so let's pause there on the 23rd and talk a little bit more about getting a picture of the person whose phone you're analyzing. Remember that person is?
Yeah, Angela Ballerina. I'll look it up and see if I can find it where her sister is. I might get in trouble for playing somebody else's content, but as soon as we get through those pictures real quick, I will pull that up. Oh, and I'm thinking her grandparents probably took her. Yeah, I kind of am too, Lori.
I handed you what's been marked as States Exhibits 260 through 264. Can you tell us what 260 is?
260 is a cell right report of a text message conversation from Michelle Martin's phone.
And do you recognize it as information that you extracted from her phone?
Yes, it is.
Cricket, my Patreon, my Nightbot will drop links for memberships. It should be doing it any time now. So if you hang out and chat, you'll see the Nightbot drop a link to become a member if you want to do that, sweetheart. I'm going to grab some coffee real quick. I'll be right back.
Tell us what 261 through 264 are.
So hold on just a minute.
261 is a photo taken off one of the devices that shows, oh, it's a photo taken off one of the devices that I extracted, as is 262, as is 263, as is 264. They're all photos taken from cell right phone extractions.
And do you recognize those photos as photos that you extracted from Jessica Kelly's phone?
Yes.
Your Honor, state will move for admission of 260 through 264.
Oh, yeah.
260 through 264 will be admitted.
Your Honor, may I publish?
Yes.
So in terms of 260, can you tell us the content and the time, date and time for the text messages there?
Yes, there's two messages on here. They're both sent from Michelle Martin's phone. The first one is sent to Fabian's phone number.
Cricket, I'm not sure. I know they're out in Albuquerque. This will be your first membership? Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Well, thank you for that. That is so sweet. Thank you. That's so amazing. You made my day. You made me feel special. Horse Lover said, unfortunately, I have experience with multi generational abusive criminal families and their innocent babies in New Mexico and rural California, especially. I had changed careers completely with the PTSD. I am so sorry to hear that. If you ever feel like you need to talk, you can email me at allegedlyspeculating@gmail.com. I try to get to my emails. I try to check them about once every 2 or 3 days. So if you ever need to talk, please feel free to reach out. And I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. I couldn't imagine. Um, he's about to be released. Was back in on CSAM charges. Oh my goodness. I wonder who that is. Oh my goodness, Abellis. Well, thank you for that. Abellis coming through, dropping 20 on us. Abellis come through and just gifted 20 memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that. Cricket, my accent comes from North Carolina, North Kakalaki. Thank you, Abellis, so much. You're so sweet and supportive. I really appreciate you so much, and I love you so much. You're such a sweetheart. Those memberships went to Red Moon Blessed, Patricia, Crime Tourist, Grab Some Yapples, Tammy Smith, Teresa, Sadie Mack, Rocky Lemon, Conspiracy Realist, Peachy Brown, Castle, Miss Sam L., Sarah Graham, 80 Lady J, Colleen Duffner, Emily Bear, Miss Mandy, Courtney Michael, Holes Court, Boss Chick, and Boss Chick. If you were gifted from Abellis and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Abellis thank you, and I will grab the Polar Express and pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much, Abellis. We're on the train to we're on the train on the way to Speculation Station and just past Dysfunction Junction. Yeah, Red Moon became a member. That's so awesome. Cricket, yeah, she's so awesome. It should drop, like I said, it should drop membership link in a minute. It does it about every 30 minutes. Yeah, Red Moon got one. Yay. And I am putting out another video of the garden. I just got to make a thumbnail for it. Tom said, been fishing at Cape Hatteras, North Carolina was awesome and would love to go back sometime. My mom takes my daughter out there a lot, but I don't think I've ever been. If I did, I was really young. I need to go out there again. I know we're going to end up going to the beach so that, I know we'll go to the beach this summer. My bonus kid's biological mother lives out there, so we'll probably take them to spend the day with her or something. I need to get back out there. I love the ocean. I like to body surf or more like jump in the waves. I need to get out there. All right, back on task.
Who she has saved in her account as Baby Love. It's sent on August 21st, 2016 at 5:20 p.m. And
Fabian was her baby love. Okay, ma'am. I'm going to need you to sit all the damn way down.
she texted him, "Is my car okay?"
What about the next text on that page?
The second message was 2 days prior to that, on August 19th. It was from Michelle Martin's phone to the contact saved as Jessica K, but it's the phone number we associate with Jessica Kelly. It sent at 12:58 a.m. and it says, "Guys, I need my car back here."
Could you go back to Exhibit 273?
Yes.
And flip to page, I believe it's page 7. May I first witness, Your Honor?
Okay.
Starting in the middle of that page, can you read the 3 texts that are there and tell us who they're from and what the date and time is?
Yes. It's the first, is it the one to Michelle and Mom you want me to start on, sir?
No.
I'm sorry.
So I heard that Amy said off topic the Menendez brothers are going to be up for parole board and could be released within the next couple months, most likely. Just saying in case y'all didn't hear. I did see something on that. After we get done listening to these text messages and looking at these photos, I'll try to pull it up. But I think it said that they were kept in prison 50 to life, but they might be coming up for parole. I could see that too. I could see how both could be possible. We'll have to look it up.
It's a message from Fabian Gonzalez' phone incoming to Michelle Martin's phone on August 22nd, 2016 at 3:32 p.m. And it says, wanted if you think I can use that 10 of Victoria's so I can get a haircut and I will pay you back by Wednesday.
And the two texts above that?
Michelle Martin's responds back about a minute later at 3:33 p.m. Yes, you can.
Fabian Gonzales was going to take that baby's money to go get a damn haircut, and he also took some of her money to go to the gas station because he took her to get a Coca-Cola and he bought himself a bottle of vodka. Wow. Like, the more I hear this, the more I realize that Fabian is also a piece of shit.
Fabian responds back to that about a minute later at 3:34 p.m. Jessica will lend it to now. If it's okay, then I can give it back to her when get home, and then I can pay Victoria back by Wednesday.
He's a shitty
Showing you
person.
what's been admitted as State's Exhibit 261.
All right, here's the pictures.
Do you recognize?
Look at Miss Jessica in all her glory sitting behind the driver's seat of a car. Wow.
Recognize the individual in that photograph?
Yes, that's Jessica Kelly.
Does that appear to be Michelle Martin's car?
It does look like the interior of it, yes.
Jessica's just driving around in Michelle's car. What do we got next?
State's 262. Do you recognize the individuals in that photograph?
That's Jessica Kelly.
Jessica Kelly and Fabian Gonzales in Michelle Martin's car. He looks, I don't know, look at their eyes. Like, it looks like their damn eyes are pure black. Like, just so full of evil. He's not smiling or anything. Just, ugh. His face looks like a skeleton to me. I don't know. Like, it reminds me of a literal, like, skull. Bone. I don't like it. And Jessica, her eyebrows are so dark. This picture gives me the creeps.
With the green Celtics hat on the right side as I'm looking at it, and on the left
Hey, Rubber.
is Fabian Gonzales.
And again, does that appear to be Michelle Martin's car?
Yes.
Yep, Linda, like the black-eyed children. What do we got here?
263. Do you know that?
It's Fabian driving the car with a fresh new haircut, it appears. The alleged childhood teen journals from the Menendez brothers are getting them out. They allege years of sexual abuse from dad and confirmed from another now adult child. I heard about that. He was a music manager or something to that effect, and one of the children he was managing admitted that he was abused. And you got to think about that time period too. Like, if you admitted something like that, you were looked at like you were, it wasn't good. Tom said, amazing. No jobs, no car, no future, and they're driving around thinking they're cool. They do. They're driving around. They think they are the shit, son.
That individual is not a name, but do you know his relationship with people involved in this case?
I think it's a blood relative of Jessica and Fabian.
Oh, it's not even Fabian. Somebody damn else is driving Michelle's car. We're just letting everybody drive Michelle's damn car.
That's just Kelly's son?
Yes, that is.
Is that little boy even old enough to drive?
Again, do you know if does that appear to be Michelle Martin's car?
It does.
Fine, it states 264.
What are we doing, Mr. Cameraman?
This is 264. Is this a photo that was taken from Jessica Kelly's home?
Yes, it was taken the day of the homicide on the 23rd from inside the Martin's apartment.
Do you know approximately what time that was taken? Do you know roughly AM, PM?
I believe it was late morning.
I want to
early
see it.
afternoon.
Why can't I see it?
Going back to State's Exhibit 273, you could turn to page 8, please.
Okay.
Amy, Discord is like a messaging app. We can put links in there. We can chat about different cases, different topics, and you can message people and each other. It's kind of like an app. It's confusing to use though, so if you can't figure it out, definitely watch a video. I had to get help. But you drop links to videos online in there. We can watch videos in there. We need to have a watch party. I want to watch Frankie and Alice with y'all. You can also like direct message people, and then we have like group chats and things like that. Yeah, that was so rude, LJ. Like, why couldn't we see the picture? Damn, I wanted to see it. Wearing a damn Celtic cap. Yeah. Right, Lorianne?
Are there text messages there that you located on Michelle Martin's phone?
Yes, they are.
Could you read the first few texts going on to page 7?
Yes, it's from Michelle Martin's phone, taken from the extraction and sent to Fabian Gonzales on August 21st, 2016 at 3:44 p.m. It says, "Baby, before you leave, can you put the stuff in Matthew's room in his closet and shut the closet in case my mom goes there?" Again, that's at 3:44 p.m. At 5:48 p.m., Michelle sends Fabian a text message saying, "You're good to go, baby." On the 22nd, so the next day at 3:31 p.m., Michelle sends her mom a text message. "Are you taking the kids to your house or mine?" On August 21st, about a minute later, from Fabian to Michelle, he sends a message saying, "Wanted if you think I can use that tin of Victoria so I can get a haircut and I will pay you back by Wednesday." We're back into that message thread.
So if you could turn
Okay, so hold on.
instead to page 6.
Okay.
From the bottom.
Yeah.
This is a message from Fabian to Michelle's phone on August 22nd at 4:52 p.m. It says, "Baby, what's up?"
That's it.
On the same day at 5:13 p.m., so about 20 minutes later, Michelle messages her mom saying, "Are you going to your house?" Her mom replies a minute later, "Yes." Michelle at 5:14 p.m. again, right after her mom replies yes, sends a message to Fabian saying, "I'm waiting for her to answer me." And then about 1 minute later, Michelle texts Fabian, "Okay, babe, go to the house."
All right. Hold on. Sorry. Let me see if I can pull up what this gel thing was before we go. I was going to try that, and then we're going to talk about the Menendez brothers right before I leave. Okay. Experimental prison unveiled. Let's just try Crystal Kelly and see what comes up. Nope. So, behind bars, women unchained. Try that. I don't know what episode it is. Is that her? Let's try New Mexico. I'll have to find it. I'm not seeing that specifically. You can hear her on the jail call. We got this too. I don't think we've ever played this, so we'll watch this real quick.
They are two sisters who have been in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Jessica Kelly charged with the murder of Victoria Martins, one of the most horrific crimes ever in New Mexico. Her sister Crystal has been on television too.
I heard you were on TV. I'm famous.
In jailhouse phone calls, the sisters talk about Crystal being on a TV show about what life is like behind bars, a place familiar to both women. After the show aired, Crystal got out. Her sister Jessica is still locked up, held without bond. One of the suspects charged with the rape, murder, and dismemberment of Victoria Martins. Jessica begs her sister, straighten out her life.
Just end up like me, and end up doing something stupid, and they're going to end up in here, and they're going to separate us because they're sisters.
You might remember Crystal from a court hearing for Jessica last summer. Crystal blew kisses to our camera, then got kicked out for being disruptive.
I'm going to get you, Michelle.
Get out. Before she ended up in front of our cameras, Crystal was in front of A&E's on a national television show talking about being locked up.
I started using methamphetamine. I got arrested. I ended up getting pregnant at an early age. I actually gave birth to my 5-year-old in prison. I'm a drug addict. I'm an alcoholic. I get out, I get high, and I come back to prison.
She also talked about her family.
I don't have nobody when I get out. Yeah, I've done f***ed up shit in my life. I have a f***ed up past. My parents were drug addicts. I lost my dad. I found him dead when I was 13 years old.
So parents are drug addicts. She lost her dad. She found him dead when she was 13 years old. So yeah, there we go. Verified multi-generational abuse, multi-generational substance abuse, mental abuse, probably physical abuse. Yeah, she talks about this shit like it is a flex, and it's not. There we go. Cricket, there's the memberships link. I knew it would drop at some point. Yeah, they do their eye makeup the same. They do. They really do, Joy. I didn't even think about that, but they do. So this will probably be all I could show of it because, like, I will get in trouble. I might get in trouble for playing this, but we know what it looks like. I will show you the episode if you guys want to watch it after we're done.
It f***ed me up bad. When I lost him, I gave up on life.
Jessica, who could be facing a lifetime behind bars, tells Crystal she does.
So I better back that up so we could hear everything she's talking about again because I think that's important. Okay. We're going to watch it again.
Get out. Before she ended up in front of our cameras, Crystal was in front of A&E's on a national television show talking about being locked up.
I started using methamphetamine. I got arrested. I ended up getting pregnant at an early age. I actually gave birth to my 5-year-old in prison. I'm a drug addict. I'm an alcoholic. I get out, I get high, and I come back to prison.
She also talked about her family.
I don't have nobody when I get out. Yeah, I've done f***ed up shit in my life. I have a f***ed up past. My parents were drug addicts. I lost my dad. I found him dead when I was 13 years old. It f***ed me up bad. When I lost him, I gave up on life.
Jessica, who could be facing a lifetime behind bars, tells Crystal she doesn't know if or when she's getting out.
You need to just strong, though. Your kids need you, my kids need you, I need you. Within the blink of an eye, everything could be gone.
Huh?
Within the blink of an eye,
Right.
everything could be gone. Not like your personal, but your life.
Jessica Kelly is scheduled to go on trial in 2019, charged with Victoria's murder and mutilation. If convicted, she could spend the rest of her life locked up. For Target 7, I'm Nancy Laughlin.
They're not going to get a lot of sympathy. There are people just going to say, you know, stop committing crimes, you won't be behind bars, period.
Oh, yeah, and to hear them worrying more about whether they're on TV and being famous, it's just upsetting to hear when this little girl is gone.
Yeah.
And
I have to agree with that. Now, I do, okay, let me try to go back so I can show you which one it is, and you guys can watch it. I'll get in trouble for playing it. That might be it. She said the blue one. The blue one? Maybe that's the complete series. I know that's her. I don't know which one is her though. I don't know. You guys will have to find it, I suppose. I'm probably not going to watch it. That stuff reminds me of being in trouble. I don't want to think about that stuff at all. It, you know, we had pencils, and if you ran the pencil underwater, you could use it as eyeliner. And then you have like M&Ms, like if you got M&Ms off a commissary and you wet the red ones, it would stain your lips like lipstick or Jolly Ranchers and things like that. That's how they do it. But then pencils, you get them wet and you can color your eyebrows in. They will do eyeliner and stuff. You can do all that stuff with it. So I'm going to show y'all real quick about the Menendez brothers, and then I'm going to have to go for the day. Oh, Lord. Probably going to misspell it. M-E-N, N-E-D-E-C. Menendez brothers. There was an update. Says they're resentenced. Menendez brothers are eligible for parole 1 hour ago. They're one step closer to freedom. Excuse me. It says at Tuesday's... No, thank you. At Tuesday's resentencing hearing, Lyle and Eric Menendez made a virtual appearance and took full responsibility for their roles in the 1989 murder of their parents. Lyle and Eric Menendez were resentenced to 50 years to life in prison on May 13th, making them immediately eligible for parole. So that's important. So as of yesterday, they were immediately eligible for parole. The brothers were serving a life sentence for the 1989 shotgun murders of their parents, Jose and Kitty Menendez, in their $5 million Beverly Hills home. Lyle and Eric appeared in court remotely and took, quote, responsibility, unquote, for their roles in the slayings, which they have claimed were committed in self-defense after years of sexual abuse by Jose. On Tuesday, May 13th, Los Angeles County Superior Court Judge Jessic resentenced Lyle and Eric to 50 years to life in prison, which makes them immediately eligible for parole. Lyle is now 57 and Eric is now 54. They've been serving a life sentence without parole since their 1996 conviction for fatally shooting their parents. So if I understand correctly, with them being sentenced to 50 years, 50 to life, that means that with the 50 years part, that they could serve 25 and be eligible for parole, and they've already done that, so they're immediately eligible for parole, and they'll likely be free soon. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like the sexual abuse allegations are real. However, and let me just say before I say however, that is horrific. I am so sorry to anybody who has ever had to deal with things like that. That's a hard thing to deal with. But you can't take it into your own hands like that. I would leave it at that. Like you should have sought help, and not committed those homicides. However, I believe they've served their time. The another person from the band Mundo came out and said that he sexually assaulted them too. Barbie said, I was friends with their cousin. I don't want to tell her name. Yeah, don't. But she had told me, I do believe that their father SA'd them. Oh, wow. Yeah. You don't think it means they should get parole? I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it. You want to see the handwriting analysis to see if the journals are legit. That's a good point. I agree, Lori. They told their mother and other people and nobody believed them. I mean, if you think about the time period, I could see that. Their mother didn't believe them or didn't want to believe them. Yeah, back in the 80s, the laws weren't as supportive in those types of crimes. You're absolutely right. Oh, wow, Carolina. Yeah, they bought shotguns instead of leaving. You're absolutely right. I mean, I get it. Like, their father's this multi-millionaire, and it would be hard to go tell the police, hey, he's doing this to me. Like, and I mean, just the time period when this happened, I have to take that into consideration. But I still don't think they should have killed him. That also happens to people who don't kill. Yeah. You think the mother knew about it all? And their father was such a powerful man, nobody believed he was capable of that. Right. Yeah. Hannah said, in other news, Lori Dayell's pretrial hearing was today, and she's going back to trial in a week or so. Imagine that. And Dad wouldn't let them leave. He threatened them. Oh, wow. Abraham said, remember, they are not being excused for their crimes. They're just being sentenced accordingly to what has come out as fact. Had this been known back then, this would have been the sentence. Thank you for that. They were adults. Mundo were big, and then they all fell to pieces suddenly in a Michael Jackson era when children's words were all rejected. Absolutely. Absolutely right. Okay, well, I'm going to go for today. They stopped for years of sexual abuse from their dad. Enough trials of that one. Yeah, Lori Daybell, I can't do it. All right, so tomorrow we're going to talk about Lily and Jack. I'm going to work on getting some more stuff together for that. I will open the panel for anybody who wants to come up and talk about the case. We're going to talk about thoughts, opinions, and speculations. We're going to break down some interviews. Should be interesting. You rock my world, love. You need to be quiet now. You're good, Joy. You're good. Jenny says, take care of everyone. Take care, everyone. And I am with her. I'm going to go for the day so I can get dinner started. I love you all. If nobody has told you, you are enough. You are important. You are special. And you are loved. And I will see y'all tomorrow. I hope you have the best night ever. Bye.
Listen up, I gotta tell you, there is something you should know.